anomalous phenomena.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
All questions that immediately come to mind with the mention of UFOs.
A Pentagon report is detailing a dramatic increase in UFO sightings, more than 350 since 2021. Many of them are explained as being drones, birds, or weather events, but about half of them remain unexplained.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
My gosh.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
This video taken by the Navy showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019. The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazil is the man who discovered the saucer.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
More people are coming forward with their own sightings.
Videos recorded by U.S. Navy personnel have added a new layer of evidence to the current national debate about UFOs.
Right at that moment, I saw what looked like 5 lights flying in formation in kind of an inverted check mark.
The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. We don't know what these UAP are.
The mysterious flying objects are still a mystery. NASA will continue investigating them and has appointed a director of UAP research.
Technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
All right, truth seekers, what's going on? It is time. It is Tuesday night, and we're live tonight, and we got a great show for you tonight, and I'm going to have one of the great ones here with us in about maybe 2 minutes or so. Doc B, Sirius, the medicine man in the house, my man. And matter of fact, we're going to be talking about the Conscious Awards in just a second for you to vote for me, him, and everyone else that we need to be voting for. But in the meantime, I want you to sit back and get ready, because why? We're going to be talking about spells and the liberation from spells. And we're going to go deep tonight. We're going to go from the music that you are listening to. It could be a spell, could have you to do some crazy. Now, wait a minute. We know a lot of you have done some crazy stuff when you hear the music, turning it up, whatever. It's the songs. Was it done on purpose? Is it something that they put together? And I asked him one of the greatest questions that I'm going to, give him tonight. A lot of us do manifestation, and we wanted, is that a spell or is it manifestation? We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to bring him in. So let's get with it, and let's do that right now. So here he is with us on stage with us right now, and we got my man, Doc B, Sirius. What's going on, my brother?
Everything is amazing. It's phenomenal. This is a beautiful time. Beautiful time.
Well, you know what? That's one of the things that we're going to be talking about. how beautiful times are, right? And basically, I don't know if a lot of people know, but they should be knowing by now that you and I both are up for a Conscious Awards. And you know what? I think after they see this show tonight and the value that we're going to bring to them, we need people to go in there and vote, re-vote, and vote, and continue to vote. And I'm talking vote, vote, vote. Get your emails out, get your Gmails, get your spot mails or whatever out, and you're going to vote tonight. So what do you think about it, man? I'm excited to, we was there last year. Me and you're going to see each other again. So what do you think?
I'm just amazed that there's an event like this that has been put together by the Carsons that really, shows respect and love and gives the flowers to those in this particular arena, in this space, who are attempting to help other people help themselves and help the world. So this is kind of like the Grammys, the Emmys, and all of those type of things for the entertainment industry. And to have something like this, that actually breaks the spell in the rhythm of the way things used to be. Give honor to things that are, something agreeable, something great. I think that's amazing. I'm also very honored to even be, thought of in the space of spiritual leader. I mean, that really blew my mind that I would even be considered, but I'm grateful and I'm thankful for everything that is happening now and things that are going on the planet with all of us. It's a really good time.
All right. So speaking of that, we're going to jump into it in just a few seconds since you said that there's things going on the planet. I'll start this conversation out. You and I talk a lot. Of course, once again, I've used some of your products and really have helped me in my healthy journey, especially all the products that you offer to cleanse it. That whole kit. And I will just really tell people they need to definitely check that out. So by the end of the show, we'll give them some insight where they can get on this thing too. But in the meantime, outside of them, hurting us with the food out there, they're after our minds. And I think that one of the ways that they're doing this, and I don't think we and I both know, we spoke on it, is through the words, the things that we hear, the fact that we hear music, and the fact that music is probably one of the most invasive ways that they can get into your mind without permission. Simply, you know what I'm saying? It's like there is no blockade for that, so to speak, and maybe there is. You'll teach us that tonight. But the fact that you just going down the street and somebody start playing something is one of those things. So we'll get into that a little bit in the show, but let's kind of set it up a little bit. Kind of tell our audience, what are your thoughts about spells? And let's go with liberation and starting with that. What do we need to be liberated from?
Well, first we need to talk about what a spell is.
Okay.
A lot of times when we hear the word spells, we go to the disagreeable. And we think that somebody puts a spell on us.
I was just having that conversation today, so go ahead. Yeah.
Somebody put a spell on me. Somebody put a spell on my family. You know what I'm saying? Or that we're putting a spell on someone. But spell really has to do with English. The English language is spelling. It's the only language, correct me if I'm wrong, that is spelling. You have a spelling bee, right?
Okay.
How to spell words. Letters in words are whole characters. There's whole deeper meanings in every letter. Every letter has a story behind it, especially in English. And English is a conglomerate of languages created by the British so that folks could trade together. It's a language of trade, commerce, and war. So folks could fight together. So many of the words in the English language actually come from other languages. So you have some Latin, you have some Spanish. There are some of the African languages are in in English, some Asian words. The derivatives come from all over. So it is set up to be on an angle. English is an angle. It's an English. It's an angle. We're not sure really what a lot of the words mean that we use. We assume that certain words mean a certain thing. But if you understand cymatics is the study of sound in the way it affects the waves of matter. So in cymatics, they do an experiment where they'll take a metal sheet and put sand on it, and they'll put a musical speaker, a sound speaker underneath, and they'll play certain tones, and the tones will make, you know, sacred geometry, beautiful shapes on the sheet of metal. This happens in water, and what happens is you're crystallizing, right, matter based on the sound of things. A lot of the sounds that we listen to are discord sounds. There's sounds that are distorted, sounds that create, you know, certain emotions that may be disagreeable. But then there's sounds and tones and frequencies that create goodness or high vibration, or, you know, help us manifest the things we desire. Our voice is a sound instrument. It's an instrument of sound. Our voice, it actually is vibrating and reverberating based on our body, based on where we're coming from, based on our feelings, based on who we are, our ID, our personality. We speak in a way, in a rhythm, and in a tone, right, based on how we're feeling. So if you're using English, right, and you don't have a pure understanding of what words really mean, what is the root meaning of them, you don't understand how they're vibrating matter, how they're leaving your body, and they'll change the shape of certain frequencies and change the energy in a room, because in a room, this air that's here is liquid. This is a liquid. So we're affecting the liquid in the room because we live in fluidic space. It's liquid. It's not the same as water or oil, but it is a liquid. And also, there are 7 different types of liquid in the body, 7 different oceans, we say, or humors. Some say 5, some say 6. You know, let's not get into the science, the exact science. Let's just say that there's 7 oceans, and there's 7 rivers or 7 oceans in the body. So when you speak, you're crystallizing the water or the liquid in your body to have a certain shape, and that shape creates a certain vibration, which is picked up by your environment. So your words are actually affecting the environment around you. So basically, we have to realize that our words are creating matter. They do matter. What you say, how you say it, the frequency you use, the repetition that you use to say certain things creates an outcome. So we are using our voice to create spelling, to create sounds and words. And if you have a great command of the English language, you'll know how to navigate certain words that have a meaning. For instance, you know, a lot of people want. I want this. I want that. Listen to it. Want. Does that sound good? Want. Sounds like an airplane crash. I want. Shoots right through your body and says, you know, we're not actually moving towards anything, because basically want ends up vibrationally to being the desire without action. People that just want, they may not get up and do anything and go actually move towards it. They just want. I want. I wish I had what they had. I wish. And wish is another one, which is a whoosh. Whoosh. It just blows away. It's a wish. There's nothing in there concrete that's going to make you actually manifest, because language can help you manifest your desires based on how you put the words in the language together. Because what we're doing is we're creating what's called the language syntax. And your language syntax has a lot to do with who you are, what you manifest, where you go, what type of relationships you have. Everything is based on the sound, the frequency of your instrument called your body. We live in an orchestra. You see, the universe is a sound, right, device. It's all different frequencies and it's different instruments in an orchestra or an orchestra. You are an instrument in an orchestra of the universe. What is your instrument? What do you play? What do you say? What's your repeating motifs? If you've been trained, right, by people who were people coming out of oppression, have a certain way of speaking usually. People who have been oppressed for long periods of time, if they're not careful, they become oppressors. They begin to like the winner. The winner seemed like the oppressor. He was the winner. I don't want to be a loser. So let me start mimicking and modeling like the oppressor. So you may start doing things to put other people down because now you feel like you're off the plantation. So now you're going to treat other people in a certain way because you want to feel like a winner. And your model for winning has been hurting other people, oppressing, depressing, repressing other people. So your new language has to do with the language of oppression. Now, you may not become an oppressor of other people. Here's where it gets deep. Most times, we become an oppressor of ourselves. We oppress the better self inside of us. We oppress the higher self. We oppress, depress, and repress ourselves with lack and limitation mindsets because that may be what we grew up with. So an oppressor will oppress or press themselves down and limitate or put limitations on themselves and others based on what they're saying. And what you're saying is spelling. So if your language is the language of disempowerment, if your language is the language of struggle, because that's what your family spoke, and their motif over and over is how we're not going to, and how most people are broke, and how what they're doing to us, and what the man is doing to us, and how we, this is what we are. We're poor people. And it's hard to go to blah, 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 blah. And we wish we want to try. See, all of those things are words that keep us locked in. Your language will be your liberator or your lockdown based on how you speak, which is how you see things, which is how you feel. Because when you speak words, your body vibrates, and the 7 waters and the 7 oceans in your body vibrate the 7 oceans in the universe. You're connected to the universe. You're not separate from it. So what instrument are you playing? What is your role?
I got a question for you. But first of all, I need to give a shout out to our ebook, and I'll put it up on the screen real quick. It's downloadable. It's called The Book of Sacred Secrets, and you guys need to get a copy of it. And I'm going to show a page too real quick. Hang on one second, Doc. And let me switch to it so you guys can kind of see it. You can download it, put it in a little folder like I did. But let me go to a couple of things that he was just speaking on real quickly. And we talk about that in here a little bit. We're talking about spells. He just was speaking about that, music being magic. We're going to talk about that tonight. But he also talked about symmetrics, I'm sorry, from the frequency, words of frequency. So, when you listening to what the medicine man is talking about, these are things that we do practice, especially in our community. But anyway, you should get your copy so you can understand it. Water, the frequency, sound, all the stuff that we talk about when we get here on our channel and stuff. So anyway, so that's something that we will do. All right, so let me go back first because I think we have a surprise here. Let me put you back on stage, Doc. Real quickly, let's hop into the room. There we go, in Vegas, out of the house. What's going on?
What up?
What's the word? Oh, wait a minute. Tell her come back. What happened?
She's going to an appointment.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So y'all Hey, what's going on? So we're gonna be talking real quick while we got y'all here. We got real quick Consciousness Wars coming up. Man, I've been getting texts, people like, hey, they're excited, they're coming, and we got some great things. So if you guys want to give a quick shout out before you get out of here, go ahead,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, of course, I'm Billy Carson, Forbidden Knowledge, my beautiful wife Elizabeth. And we got Dr. B in the house, Roderick Martin in the house, and they're gonna be in the house down in Miami, Florida, at the 2nd annual Forbidden Conscious Awards. You don't want to miss it. Last year was amazing. They were both there. Dr. B opened up. He's going to open up the event and get everybody on a subconscious alignment again this year. Get us on the same frequency. Roderick was there. It was just a phenomenal show. And this year we're giving away a Mercedes-Benz. So the trick though is you have to be sitting in the actual event. If you're not there, you can't win, right? Because why? We're going to be calling a seat number. We're going to have you text us your seat number while we're live on stage. There'll be a random drawing live on camera, and someone in the audience will win that Mercedes-Benz, which will be parked right in front of the venue. Like last year, we had the Audi A4 parked in front of the venue. So If you want to get the opportunity to do that, you got to get your tickets at consciousawards.com.
Now you're doing a BOGO right now, right? So some of these people, if they're getting their tickets to the Consciousness Award, they're going to be able to come to that conference on Saturday, right?
Oh, yeah, the speaking conference. It's going to be an amazing speaking conference on Saturday morning from 8:30 to 4 o'clock p.m. It'll be Robert Edward Grant speaking. We have Merkaba 13. Of course, myself, Billy Carson. Elizabeth is going to host a women's panel. And so you get to come to that speaking conference for free if you have a ticket to the Adrian Arch Center to the actual Conscious Awards. So you just bring a copy of your ticket or receipt for your ticket to get into the award show, and you walk right into the conference and have an amazing day of incredible lectures that are going to help change your paradigm.
Well, let me tell y'all something. And there's going to be a book signing. You guys can come and get all those bestsellers and books from the Forbidden Knowledge book family and the publishing company there. This is first class. I always tell Billy, he reminds me of that John Hammond of Jurassic Park. Spare no expense, and they're not sparing any expense on this. You're talking about going out Saturday night, guys, on a boat, all the different things that you're going to be able to do. But the whole part of this is being around the family and the conscious family. And so, Billy, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. And I'm just glad you just hopped on to be able to let people know, we're still going. This thing is going to be huge. And the only thing missing is you all coming, whoever's on the fence line. So get off the fence, come on down, especially if you got friends in Miami. Tell them all, just come on over and let's all have a good time. So.
Yeah. And make sure you guys go and vote for Roderick and vote for Dr. B. Both
yes, y'all heard it.
Separate categories. So make sure y'all go and vote. Right now, there are some vote leaders. So you guys are doing a great job supporting them, and they work so hard. Dr. B's out here grinding, man. He doesn't have to do this kind of work. I mean, come on. This guy can just relax and sit back and enjoy life, but he's out here working for the betterment of humanity. Roderick is out here grinding, spending everything he's got, working hard, putting in countless hours,
Yes.
I mean, the work that he's doing is really so incredible and so impactful on humanity. And so, come on, we got to support these people, man. People that are working effortlessly to change the world, we have to support them. And these are two vote leaders in their category. So make sure you guys continue to support.
And the link is in the description to get the Conscious Awards, to vote for Doc and I. It's all in the description. Made it simple. Just go in there and get that vote. In fact, when you do, put it in the chat in a little bit. I'll give you a shout out.
Cool. Hey, man, I'm glad I was able to hop on.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. We'll talk. We'll see you soon. See you in Houston. That's for sure.
If you got another second.
Yeah. What's up, Dr. B?
Man, I'm doing amazingly well. It's phenomenal. So we're talking about language. We're talking about spelling. And as I'm listening to this, I realize that, because, we talked about how there's 7 oceans in the body, 7 different types of water. Then there's the universal waters. There's liquidic space or fluidic space. By coming to an event like this, you are actually, having an event like this is actually vibrating the entire universe. It's creating a sound, a frequency, and it's showing something that, Hollywood don't have this. They didn't come up with nothing like this. Why? Because they were looking at the pure dollars and controlling people's minds and giving people awards that basically were not, going to actually change us, except make us, watch more movies, buy more records. But this is something that sends out a wave, and we create a liquid crystal by all coming together, even if we're not there physically, but if we're watching it, because this is going to be also able to be streamed later on Forbidden Knowledge TV. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
So everybody being involved in something like this and giving energy changes the paradigm. So we're actually, we're paradigm shifting, we're timeline shifting.
Yeah.
So just speaking on this thing, the way that you do, and I really love the way Billy speaks, because Billy never talks about the poor, broke, lonely. He doesn't use that language about how bad it is.
Yeah.
He's always talking about how good it is. And if you listen to him and you become a thought leader and a seeker of knowledge, then we change everything. So each one of us involved, whether you're on the stage, whether you're in the audience, whether you're just here listening to this type of talk, it's actually changing the world.
Yep.
So language. Could you just speak a little bit about language and how people speak that creates their outcome? Could you speak on that just a little?
Well, we know that words truly have power. That's why it says in the good book, in the beginning was the word. The word is a frequency, right? So everything emanates into existence from these cymatics and these vibrations that we know for a fact are being created by our own vocal box. And we articulate these cymatics by creating specific wave patterns that emanate across the atmosphere and actually alter the space-time continuum. The words that you speak out of your mouth can literally change your own reality. And of course, because those vibrations are vibrating your own cells in your body and vibrating the water in your body, you are altering your own physiology with every word that you speak. This is why it's so important to understand what you're saying, how you're saying it, and what is the conscious intent behind what you're saying. Because every situation that you speak on is going to have a consequence, whether it's a good consequence or a bad consequence. There's always going to be a consequence based on the conscious intention and the cymatic frequencies that you embark or put out onto the world. And so we have to understand that the words that we're saying are very, very need to be very, very carefully picked. And eventually, if you practice it, you will get into a good habit of knowing what words to use and even how to catch yourself before speaking ill will or before speaking, actually harm on your own self by saying things like, I suck, I can't do this, I'm no good, and I'm horrible, and, all those kind of phrases that we like to use. I hope the Conscious Awards works out. I hope this works out. Someday I'll travel to Egypt with Billy, someday. All these things that we're saying, we don't realize we're putting ourselves in an absolute mental prison and locking ourselves up with those words. In order to free yourself, you have to be cognizant of the type of words that you're using and the conscious intent behind them, and understand how to claim your power through your own vocal box.
Well, let me ask both of y'all a question before you go. I had this conversation with a friend of mine today where we were talking about manifestation, all of the different things. And she was like, well, you know what? It's a spell, or all of things that you're managing. So when we hear the term spells, people think it's a derogatory term or it's evil. Is manifestation, either one, y'all both can answer it. Are we still casting a spell?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, manifestation is different. See, a spell is moving towards something. Your language, your words are moving you towards something. It's like kind of like you setting the sail on your boat. You see what I'm saying? When you get there, that's the manifestation. Most people are manifesting based on how they speak. They have no idea that what they're saying, they're spelling, they're becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're speaking it. What they're not, well, don't, shouldn't, couldn't, wouldn't. Those are opposites. You see what I'm saying? So manifestation has to do with what you're ending up with, what you have. Most people have exactly what they've created based on how they think and how they talk and how they act. Mm-hmm. Back to you,
Facts.
Billy.
Facts. No, it's facts. I mean, that's why they call it spelling, because we are casting spells when we put pen to paper. When we speak things, we're speaking them into existence. When we pray, we're trying to cast a spell. It's just a fact. It doesn't mean that it's evil. It just means that we're trying to alter the future reality in the third dimension into our own favor. That's what people are dropping to their knees and praying for. It ain't just for good exercise. They're really trying to cast a spell, whether they want to admit it or not. That's exactly what they're doing. And the problem with it is a lot of people don't even know exactly how to cast a proper spell, how to use their vocal, how to use their cymatics to create the ripple in space-time that goes out and alters their reality in the third dimension. It's all about time traveling through cymatics. I can speak a word today, right now, that will create a ripple in space-time that I will actually intersect with at a future point in time to create that exact reality. That reality will be manifest at the time that I intersect with that cymatic wave that I sent out. Could be a year ago, it could be a week ago, it could be 5 minutes ago. But that's how we're living. We're traveling, we're sending out waves that emanate through space-time and alter realities. And once you begin to grasp and understand that, you begin to understand how powerful your voice is. A lot of people don't speak out on things. A lot of people don't speak up for themselves because they don't know how powerful their own voice is. But once you understand the power in your voice, it'll be hard to shut you up on topics and situations and things that are truly important or that you feel are important to yourself and to the world.
Man, there you go, man. I appreciate you coming in tonight. You guys are doing your thing, and we will talk soon enough, you know?
Yes. Hey, appreciate it. See y'all soon. And we'll see y'all at the Forbidden Conscious Awards very soon.
Absolutely. Yes. And make sure y'all vote. The link is in the description. Get your tickets, come live, everything else. Get a book, get it all signed, get some hugs, handshakes, and all of that. And let's pop some spelling in. I will see you at the Conscious Award. Now, that's a spell, baby.
Oh, yeah. Peace.
Peace out. All right. So there y'all go. We have it. You know, that's the greatness of doing that. And real quick, one more little quick plug, and then you and I are going to go deep real quickly. Anyway, so you guys see it. They're talking about it. You know, it's on our website, the Book of Sacred Secrets, a little bit. Get your book, man. Go ahead. And real quick, I'll just put it on the screen. But Billy was just talking about the spells. He was just talking about let me just go back a little bit so y'all can see. We're talking about somatics here. You can learn all that stuff along with a lot of stuff. So anyway, we're not going to have all this out here for you the whole time. But anyway, Doc is here. The medicine man is here. But anyway, just go to the website, get your copy, and you won't be disappointed. Download that Book of Sacred Secrets. You can't go wrong. All right, so let me get my guy here now. Let us just go deep. So, Doc, you heard it. That was one of the questions I had too, you know, about manifestation. Let me take this thing off. Manifestation, spells, speaking, and putting things into existence and everything else. Now, before words, we had symbols, and now we have spelling. So how is it that, regardless to the fact, you know, even if you go back to slavery times, we got a lot of songs out there that was saying different things, and when you was talking, all I can think of, my favorite movie growing up was Eggs Don't Fry in the Kitchen. You know, it's like and then Good Times. You know, like that was a chime. So were there spelling? You know, putting spells on us to stay down when we're watching Good Times, but we into the song.
See, when you have pictures and then you have words, when those two come together and you agree at some level that this is real or this is good, or something or someone is like a leader. So, you know, you look at television, television, it's almost like these people are stars. Okay, they're not stars, they're entertainers who are acting. And they show you pictures and show you scenes and then explain something. So if you see people in this show and they're living, basically, they're not financially well off at all. And they keep telling you good times. This is good times. This is good times.
You're right.
But actually, it may not be the best time. It may be as good as they could do with the suppression, repression, and depression that they're under at the time. But when they keep saying good times and you keep singing it over and over, that's the hook, that this is good. The way y'all are living is good for you. To act foolish and be, you know, buck dancing around and acting crazy, they keep telling you that's good. And as long as you watch it, then there is this wave of energy that happens in your head where your eyes are agreeing with your ears and your ears are agreeing with what you're thinking and feeling about it, because it happens in your body. Now you've become that. And a lot of people, it's holding them back, because see, the only limitation that we actually have is the ones we create. If you're having what's called cognitive dissonance is, I see something and they're saying something in a certain voice, and these people who are speaking are authority figures, and you now believe that these people are the authority in your life. You've given them authority. Then in your body, you actually have inflammation, because your root does not agree with this. Your subconscious is programming it, but your body is saying something's wrong here, because your body is always attempting to keep you striving and thriving and moving to the next level. But if you're watching something that's saying this is good for you, then you're seeing these pictures that seem to be good. This is what television was all about. But it's not true. It's not based on facts. Inside of you, there is a type of inflammation or a type of discord or a type of energy that actually limits you, because it looks like this. Look, let me tell you. When I grew up, and I'm working just in the final quarter of the book that I'm writing now. And in there, I talk about growing up with my parents in the 60s watching Walter Cronkite. This is during the Vietnam War and all this. And Walter Cronkite is the man. In news, he's the man. He's got on that trench coat, right? And he's got a certain way of talking. And it's that talk that says that I am the authority. And it's non-regional voice. And when people speak like that, it's non-regional. And it sounds very intelligent. And he one day is in Vietnam, supposedly. And my parents are all gathered around the television. This is how we grew up. And he's talking about he's in Vietnam and he's got on a trench coat. So I asked my father, I said, hey, Dad, how hot is it in Vietnam right now? He said, well, it's summer over there right now. It's probably about 125, maybe 130. I said, so how is it that he's got a trench coat buttoned all the way up and he's not sweating? But he's Walter Cronkite. The name and everything is created to create a spell so that you think he's an authority. He's kind of like, what was the guy from England that was the great inspector? He's the most famous inspector of all. Come on now, help me, right?
From England?
He's from over in Europe somewhere.
He played like
he was the greatest inspector.
Look, I was going to say Expected Gadget. Expected Gadget? What are you talking about? No.
He was like a detective. Somebody put it in the chat room. You know who it is.
Somebody else said Expected Gadget too.
He wears a trench coat.
Sherlock Holmes. Yeah.
So Walter Cronkite he's channeling an energy that makes you feel like he's like Sherlock Holmes and he's done all this research. But actually, he's reading a script and he's wearing a trench coat buttoned all the way up and it's 130 degrees or more, right? But he's not sweating, which means that he's really in a Hollywood studio. And he's saying at the end of the news, every single night, he says, and that's the way it is. And that's the way it is. It's like the preacher. You can't ask the preacher questions, and that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And this is what God said. You can't question anything. So after a while, if you can't question something, right, and your natural flow is to ask questions to learn more about the limitations that they're putting on you. But you could get in trouble for that. I got in trouble for questioning what doctor.
Well, hell, we do that with our kids now. You beat them. Don't just do what I say. But I think, it's like where we are today in society, Doc. It's like people are now taking authority as truth instead of truth as authority. And I think it's a crazy thing now because we just have so much of that. And then that leads us down that road in which I want to bring up a situation and I want you to analyze it. So let me get it right now together here. All right. So I was doing some research and we all knew of this thing right here. Travis Scott. Okay. Now, of course, Astro World, if you think about spelling, would be, Astral World, if we want to think about that. But you see all those people there, right? And you already see the mouth and where they're going. And then we go to this portal, this thing, this fiery stuff. And then the word says, see you on the other side. How many people and you see the whole illumination, the whole 9 yards. What in hell will allow people to sit there and walk through that mouth and then get all that visualization and all of that symmetry and music and spelling and spells? How is this going on and it's commercialized like that?
Well, that's how you keep the people in control. You keep the people in control by getting them to never raise their consciousness up high enough to take control of their ship, which is their body, which is a vessel. So you're constantly being nudged and moved towards things that may not be the best for you, but that's how you control people. This is population control. And people are choosing that. So we can't say they were made to do it. They joined in. They opted in. They put their signature. Please sign here.
They're paying for it. Yeah.
They're paying for it. So that is their business. I tell people, well, that's their business. We're not being made to do too many things. Sometimes we are. But most of the times we are opting in. We're agreeing to something when actually we're changing and evolving. So let me break this down to you. We're at a very special time that we've never been in before. The Earth's vibration, every atom, every neutrino, every particle is vibrating at a higher and higher, faster vibration. The frequency is turned up big time. The Earth is not in the same place that it was before. The moon, everything looks different. The sun looks different. We're not in the same place. This is not the same planet. We're constantly evolving and changing. So they knew that there was a certain time when we would have like the mass consciousness of all the people that came before us. So your ancestors are in your cells. Your ancestors are in your cells. Your cells came from them. Your mitochondria came from them. So you have what they have, but you have it at another degree. So they knew at a certain time the people would begin to awaken from the spell, the words that were put on us through English in angle, and they knew that people would begin to wake up and change everything. So what you do if you want to keep your animals on the farm, you keep feeding them food that doesn't have the best nutrition. You keep putting frequencies in the air and putting things in the water that causes them to not evolve, but devolve. You start saying things and repeating things over and over that certain people are going to latch on to, and they're going to begin to model that life. So the big thing today is we're victims. We play victim a lot. Look what they're doing to us. Look what they did. Very seldom do you hear people taking ownership and saying, well, I agreed to that. Now I'm going to break that spell and create a new spell. You've got to create your own spells now. Spells are not agreeable or disagreeable. They're just things that you can use. Words manipulate energy. So words, the way you spell, the way you speak, the way you flow has a lot to do with who you are. People are beginning to have more information coming to them than ever. Right here on the internet, this program is giving people information and nudging them to seek something at a different level rather than following the crowd into the spell, into the mouth of the devil.
Look, like you said, let me put that slide right back up into the mouth.
You see what I'm saying?
He got his mouth open. That's the entrance. Come into the mouth.
He's eating because America eats its young. America eats, it devours them. If you allow it, if you allow them, they will eat you. Now you've got to break free. You got to break free by first how you're seeing the world, who you are. Let's talk about the dragonfly.
Okay.
We're at this time now, which is between now and 2027, when everything's flipping. Everything's going to change. 2027, it's not going to be the same planet. It's not going to be the same. A whole lot of people are not going to be here. They're going to blow their own minds.
Yeah.
And some of us are going to shift into a whole new dimension where we've created heaven on earth. You have to allow this. You have to be in the space, and you cannot let America or the world or whoever is controlling you eat you and control you because they're parasitic. You've got to do a parasitic cleanse mentally, physically, and spiritually. So let's look at this. There is the dragonfly. And by the way, we're in the time of what the Chinese calendar calls the wood dragon.
Okay.
The wood dragon is the time period that we're in right now. The dragonfly lays eggs in the water, usually like on something that's kind of almost swampy. And the babies are called nymphs. If you look up dragonfly nymphs, look one up, Roderick. Look what they look like. They're some of the ugliest little monsters you've ever seen. This is alien.
Oh, let me do it on my phone.
Are from another
Let me
world.
do it on my phone, and then we could bring it up so they can see it.
The nymphs eat everything and anything they see. And everything is attempting to eat them. They live in a state of survival, fight or flight.
All right, so here it is right here. I'm going to put it on the screen. Let's Is that it? That ugly thing?
That's one
right
of
there?
them. You got some more ugly ones. That's a little dark. I don't know if they can see
Yeah,
how ugly these things are.
Yeah.
The nymph.
Yeah, there's the nymph. Yeah.
The nymph is an ugly little monster. They eat everything, and they're always being eaten. So they live in fight or flight. It's about survival.
About survival, yeah.
The water they're in is swampy. It's thick. It's a lot of stuff in that water that challenges them each day. It's murky. But at a certain time, the nymph gets a signal. And these things inside the nymph called imaginal cells turn on. Imaginal cells are these cells that are floating around the DNA that look just like little UFOs. If you see them, you're going to say, wait a minute.
Let me look for that. Ships, let me look for that
they're
one. Hang
actually ships. They're spaceships. They're from another dimension. And they're just floating around the DNA during the life of every being. We have them too. They're called imaginal discs or imaginal cells. These things, when the nymph gets a certain signal, it crawls up a reed out of the swamp. And when it crawls up the reed, guess what? You see? Look at them.
Yeah, he looked like a little UFO, you know?
That's not a good one there. You got some other ones that look like little discs. Look, imaginal discs.
Turn that light off so it'll show up a little different here.
Imaginal disc.
I'll keep looking. Let me see. Why are you talking there? Looking for the
imaginal disc.
So, a disc? Okay.
Disc. What happens is the nymph goes through a change. It crawls up a reed. And when it crawls up a reed for the first time, it takes its breath and it's breathing air. It's been in water. Its body is full of water. It breathes air for the first time, and its body's like a little shell, like a shrimp, and it cracks open. And out comes the soft little body, what's going to be the dragonfly. It takes its first breaths of actual air. Its eyes can now actually see colors, because it's murky, and they had these coverings like sunglasses or light glasses over its eyes. It burst out of this like an alien bursting out of a shell. Then it takes the water. Now remember, the water represents what? Danger. It represents the victimhood. It has to take the water that it has in its body and pump the water into its wings. When it pumps the water into its wings, the wings expand and become solar panels. Then it begins to flap its wings and it flies away. And for the next 2 weeks, the dragonflies, all they do is have sex and make love.
All right.
They went from the underworld, they went from hell into heaven, and all they do is be intimate. When we become like the dragonfly or like the nymph that crawls up onto a reed, and we pull ourselves out of the swamp, the language, the way we act, the way we talk, the fighting, you know what I'm saying, the competition that we go through to try to make it. And we decide to blow or pump the waters of the past, the waters of the disagreeable world, and the victimhood. We use that water to inflate our wings. Now we use those wings, which were pumped up from the waters of the past, from all the stress and all the trial and tribulation and the pains we went through. You use that as fuel to become what? Solar cells, so that you now fly freely.
And have a bunch of sex too, right?
And have sex. This is all part of what they call the what is it called? The 55th. Let me look at it real quick. The 55th gene key. Look up the 55th gene key. We are now, as a people, in the 55th gene key. See, there's keys in your genes that are already inherently locked in. Not your diseases and things. These are certain things that we're going to use to evolve at certain times in life. And we're at the place now where we're going through an evolution. But part of the evolution is to first realize you've got to get to the point where you're moving into your genius. Genius is when you're creating something that's never been created before. It's not something you learned. This is when you're in improvisation mode, like jazz music is improvisation. The most powerful energy in the world is improvisation. This is what the trees are doing.
Okay.
This is what the butterflies are doing. This is what the dragonfly. You have to improvise constantly. You have to realize that 90% of your journey in life is course correction. Yes, there's going to be storms. Yes, there's going to be sharks and, giant octopi. Is that a word? Coming after you. There's going to be things that are going to test you. We're being tested in an obstacle course, but we tested ourselves. But we keep thinking that somebody did something to us. We keep thinking that somebody put a spell on us. We need to become the spellers. We need to become the dream catchers. Most people are not going to do it. They're going to let America eat them. They're going to march right down to the place and listen to the frequency and listen to the music that's all looped up and trapped up, and they're going to be entrapped because that's what they desire, because they believe that that's all there is.
I got a question for you. All right, so let's go with reality of conversation for a second. We're going to use the word spell, and this is just me kind of being on a street level here talking. Somebody walks up to you, woman, man, whatever, we're talking about a woman or a man, but the whole point, a woman walks up to you and say, Doc, I put a spell on you. You're going to love me. Now, do you take it as negative, or do you say, well, I'm going to block that spell? Can you block it?
It depends on who you are.
Okay.
You can block anything. You can accept or allow anything, and you can also release something. People have attempted to put spells on me. Real hoodoo.
That was my point. Okay.
Real hoodoo and you do and all that kind of stuff on the one they call Dr. B. And I said, well, come on with it. Put it on me. Because I have to be in the belief of it. I have to believe in that. I have to give you that power. I don't care if your eyes is rolling back and you ain't got no pupils. You know what I'm saying? You got goat's teeth and you know what I'm saying? You got the triple tongue of a dog or a rat.
Right.
That don't mean nothing to me. I stick my hand in bees' hives with thousands of bees. They don't sting me. Why? Because my vibratory rate. I am vibrating with the bees. So when you come to me with all your devilish stuff, see, here's what happened. I always get this.
But now, wait a minute though. See, you just gave the key word, your devilish stuff. But what if that person truly is believing in this and they want you, Doc, they want you, right? She wants you. And she's not thinking of it devilish. She's just thinking, I'm going to use my power of spelling to put a spell on Doc B. But you're saying devilish, but her intentions didn't come out that way.
See, when I say, let's talk about her putting a spell on me, it's her words. She could put a spell on me using certain words.
I got you.
Depending on the words that she used and the flow and the frequency and the melody and the rhythm of her words, it is possible. If I am open to it, if I open that gateway, you see what I'm saying? If there's enough things, it depends on what she's wearing. It depends on how she's smelling. It depends on how she's walking. It depends on a lot of things. She has to be in a vibratory rate that I'm in at that particular time before I allowed myself to be spelled.
Got you.
There's nothing wrong with a spell. We're using spells every day. We're spelling every day. We're spelling and spilling the cheese or spilling the milk every single day. No matter what powers you have, I have to allow it. So let me tell you what happened. I used to have this recurring dream. I always get personal on your show.
Hey man, let's do it, man. That's the only way to do it, right?
Cry sometime and scream because I've been through a lot. But all of that I've been through, I'm using as the fuel to take us all to the next level. So listen, recurring dream. This monster, this thing is on a horse, dark horse. All I can see is these teeth, and it's just coming at me with these weapons and all these things, and it's chasing me, and I'm running.
It's on the horse, right? It's riding the horse.
I'm running.
Okay, and the horse is snorting.
You know the movie.
Yeah.
I'm naked. I don't have nothing.
No you naked? You naked? Like
I think I'm naked.
Like African naked? Like just not.
I can't see myself in the dream, but
you're not wearing your dark. I mean, you got your mala beads on though, right?
I ain't got nothing.
You naked.
I don't have my power with me. I don't have my coat of arms yet. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have.
And it's still chasing you. But go ahead.
Chasing me. because I have no power. I'm powerless is the symbol that we're creating here.
Okay.
And then I've given this thing power, and I am scared. And I run, and I always wake up sweating and screaming and crying. This is a recurring dream for a lot of my life.
Okay.
Then all of a sudden, one night, I go to bed and I say, if I had that dream, we're going to change this. I need to change one thing in this dream.
And that's put on some clothes. You put on clothes, right? I know that was the change.
Naked because I don't even know what clothes are.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Why you staying on the naked part, man? You all right?
Well, I'm just trying. I'm trying to. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like. It's the part of this harsh snarling. You running down like Kunta Kinte naked. Through the night. We didn't picture it's dark as the moon, or you running in darkness.
It's no matter what it is.
Yeah,
it's all not good.
It's not good. That's my point, and that's all I was like.
In my mind, it's not good. It's
even in the dream. Put on some clothes. That's all I'm saying. But go ahead.
If I had clothes, that would help protect me. I'm naked to what? Gotcha. Whatever's in my mindset. So check it out.
Okay, let's go. We'll go with it.
I decide to turn around and face the beast. I turn around and I look at it really well. And his eyes are glowing in the dark, and his blood is in his teeth because it just ate something along the way, and it's wild. It's a wildebeest, a wilder beast. And guess who it is? It's me. For the first time, I see that the thing that's been chasing me is the disagreeable part of myself. So I decide to speak to it. And I say, I know. And he's like, oh, no, I'm going to kill you. Rah, 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 rah. And I say, so you must be the devil. Yes, I am the devil. I have all power. I said, you got all power. You have all power. Yes, I can do anything. I said, well, if there's anything that you cannot do, would you let me go? If I mention one thing that you cannot do, would you let me be free? You must be crazy if you think I can.
All right.
I am the devil.
You got the riddles going. You got the riddles going. Yeah.
Got the picture?
We got the damn picture for sure.
I tell him, I says, can you be somewhere that God is not?
And that's the riddle.
Why would you say such a thing? Oh, you're killing me. I'm melting. It's back to Wizard of Oz. I am melting. Oh, why would you do this, Dorothy?
But why couldn't he answer it? It was you. You know what I mean? It was your other.
My other self.
Your other self. Wouldn't it know what you knew?
I just asked it. Could it be somewhere that God was not? It couldn't. Remember now, I said, if I say something that you cannot do, will you leave me alone?
Oh, okay. There. Okay. It's all in the spelling of the question. Yeah. Yeah.
My life changed that night.
Gotcha.
It disappeared. Clothes probably popped up on my body. I don't remember. I know you worried about the naked.
No, you know what? You know what? It's not that. It's just the vision of running. And the horse snarling and the monsters and everything else, and all of that. So I didn't know the significance of all that, but
my shadow self. We all have it.
Yeah.
You're born with it, and you. Right? If you're born as a master, which we all have the possibility of becoming masters, you're going to be tested by yourself.
In fact, it was in the movie, The Woman King. Remember, that's how she came to her better understanding all this time. And she told the girl, well, finally she figured out the monster or whatever was her too. Yeah. Remember?
It's all in you.
Yeah.
It's all in us. It's in our mindset. Your world is your mindset. The world is not the earth. The world is the world that you believe, that you feel. You see, I learned so much stuff about the evil devil, going to church and growing up and all that. I actually materialized it. I was afraid of this evil thing that could do all this stuff to us, which really somebody made up. If you believe it, it becomes real. You are now repeating it over and over. You're under the spell. You're using the language and the language thought patterns that actually create this immaterial thing into something material that you can feel. You think it's really there. You really think that there's people out there trying to hurt you and trying to chase you. You think people are listening to your conversation. You think that people are lying. You think that the government tried to do something to you, and white people did this something to you. Black people did something to you. Now you become a victim, and you might as well go down and vote victocrat, because now you don't realize that you are a victim of your own creation and that you were here as a master to what? Dispel yourself. See, the only competition you really should have is to compete with your old self, to go into that shadow self and ask the shadow self some questions that it cannot answer. It only exists in your mindset because you've created it, and your world has scared you into believing that there's something more powerful than you outside of yourself. When you do that, then you're lost and turned out. What you've got to do is become the captain of the ship, and you got to ask yourself some real powerful questions. Is it true what you're saying? Is it true that these people are your enemies? Sometimes you go meet your enemy and you find out your enemy is in you. It's inside you. It's what you believe. I have met some of my quote unquote enemies, and they were followers. Oh man, Dr. B, man, we love what the work that you thought. This cat hated me. No, man, we love you.
And speaking of that, I just saw a chat, and I'm gonna call him out. His name is Tyrone Brown. He's giving you all these green hearts, but he come back and he says Roderick is a hater. How do I want to respond to that?
Why should you respond?
You get what I'm saying? You know, it's like,
but wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Like dumbass. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Agree with him.
Agree with him. Okay.
Somebody comes at you. This is powerful. This is the art of war. You all getting this tonight. They come at you. I'll give you another piece of the Dr. B story. We had a store in Los Angeles on Pico Boulevard. It's called Elevation, right? We sold crystals. We did lectures and classes. This is like many, many years ago. And folks would come from everywhere. And some guy waited to the end of the lecture, and he walks up to me, and he's looking at me, and he's got these red eyes, and his teeth is kind of yellow because I don't know what kind of toothpaste he's using, but it ain't brightening his teeth. Anyway, he comes up to me, and he's angry. He says, Dr. B, man, I hate you, man. You ain't no good. You was no good. Beep, 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 beep. Every curse word. Beep, 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 beep. Right? And none of these products are good, man. And you lying to the people, and you the devil himself. And beep, 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 beep. Now, there were sisters who was my security at the time. They were all, these are military trained sisters. I met one at the last Conscious Award. That's right. Don't mess with these folks.
Yeah.
They be in the crowd quiet. You don't know. They will twist you up and have you down in a second. You see?
Yep.
So women, all they need me to do is to give them a signal, and they'll take this cat down. I say, nope, don't say anything. So when he finishes, I say, wow, I think you're right. He says, huh? I think you're right. Everything you said is right. I've thought some of these things myself about myself. I apologize for whatever I may have said or done to cause you to feel this way. I'm going to take everything you said into consideration. Thank you very much.
I do that all the time. He's like, thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Check it out. The man runs out the store. He's crazy. Foaming at the mouth. There's foam on the floor. We got to pick up foam now. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Visual, you know what I'm saying? Footprints got steam around him, smoke around his forehead. He leaves. The sister said, we should have beat him up. We should have such. I said, no, we don't do that. We only need to do that if it's, if that's the only way. 15 minutes later, the guy comes back in the store crying with tears in his eyes. Dr. B, I apologize. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. What did you do to me? I don't know. It was terrible. I had lost my mind. I don't know.
Look, let himself whoop his ass, right?
My mother and my father and my uncle, and it was Hitler inside of me. And oh my God, I'm sorry. I said, stand. He was down on his knees and everything. Stand up, young man. And I gave him a hug. That guy was at every one of my lectures from that point on, up front, taking notes. He learned so much. Because when somebody throws you something disagreeable, you don't fight. You take it. If the guy said that you are a hater, agree with him. He feels you're a hater. He's right. That doesn't mean he's correct. Right means he's self-righteous in the way he thinks. He sees you as a hater. Why is he on your show? Why is he in the chat room talking about he's a hater? Something's going on inside of him. Don't take it personal. Fourth agreement, or the 4 agreements. Don't take it personal. He's got his own story, his own demon, his own devil is haunting him. He's under a spell, and he thinks that he's not a hater, but because he's saying what he's saying, obviously he's showing you what he may be experiencing based on what he's been through, and you can't blame him because he may have been through hell and been through a family that all voted victims and victocrats and hellions.
Hurt people.
It's
I got
okay.
you. Yeah.
It's okay for people to be that way. We're not trying to tell you to be all nice and, agree with everything. A lot of times, that's one time why I used to have a security and still do today, because some folks don't like this talk. They call it too positive. You're uplifting people. Some folks are here. There's folks right here in this chat, right here on this show right now. There's agents.
Oh man, you run into them all the time because and what's so bad about it, they come repeatedly. So after every show, and I'll do it tonight, I tell to my haters, I give them this, and I said, if you hear hating on me, I just want you to know I can still love you. I don't want to meet you, but I can still love you. But if you keep coming here hating, you're really a fan. You're just critical.
And it's beautiful to have this contrast. You need it. You need the yin and the yang. See, without pressure and heat, you couldn't have a diamond. That's why this is the time of the wood dragon, because you're supposed to burn up everything, vaporize anything that comes up against you. They can only hurt you if you allow them. You can only put a disagreeable spell on me. A lot of people don't realize you putting a spell on me. I know how to take that and do the transmutation and use that as fuel.
And send it back. Yeah.
No, I don't send it back.
All right.
I'm not giving you gave it to me. I know how to put this in the incinerator. Send that down into my solar plexus, and my solar plexus begins to glow because you are in your own world. You're giving power to the people you say you hate by talking about it. You're talking about it, so your body hears it. Your subconscious cannot perceive and conceive of anything outside of self. So anything you say about somebody else, you're hearing it first. It vibrates in your body, and your body says, look, we don't like ourselves. It begins to kill. You actually begin to kill cells and organs and break your telomeres off when you speak disagreeably about anybody else. I'm going to give you a couple of rules that you can follow that would change your life. Never do or say anything that deprives others of anything.
Okay.
Never wish ill on others, ever. All of this puts a magic spell on yourself. You're spelling yourself by being mad, angry, young. I mean, young at mind and not being wise. Wise ones, they don't get upset. You can't move them out of their place. They're standing on their square. They're lovers. Are you a lover? If your body is a ship, what kind of ship you got? Is it a warship? Are you warshipping? Are you warshipping? All day long? What kind of ship? What's on your boat? Are you a cargo boat and you got stuff down in the cargo hold of your boat, your ship, your body that you don't know what it is and where it came from? Some stuff that was hand-me-downs from your family. You've got to clean your ship. You've got to choose now at this particular time, between now and 2027, you've got to get out of the swamp. You've got to be the one to become the black sheep and jump over the fence. Are you ready to do that? Otherwise, the spell that you're under is the spell of being poor, of being in lack, limitation, not enoughness, always talking about what you didn't get, always looking at the problems instead of solutions. If your spell, if your language, if your motif, if your melody is always talking about the problem 80% of the time and only 20% of the time the solution, you are in hell. We've got to flip that. You've got to talk, and you can talk about the problem 20% of the time, but 80% of the time, we need to be talking about solutions. If we're not talking about solutions, then we need to shut up. We need to just be quiet.
Abracadabra.
You ain't got something good to say, don't say it, because it's coming back to you. It's coming right back to you. It's back to you. Back to you, Jim. Back to you, Jane. Back to you, John. Back to you. Back to you. That's the news. The noose, the 6 o'clock news is hanging you up because, right? It's the noose. It's hanging you upside down because it's a nuisance and it's nothing good on the news anymore. And you're hanging yourself by believing that this is what they say. Somebody told me the other day, but I can be who you vote for. I said, first of all, this is personal. Don't ask me who I'm voting for. Ain't that a private? That's why they got privacy all around the booth. The voting booth is all private, curtains around it.
Right.
I know who I'm voting for. Then they tell me, I know you better vote for blah, blah, blah. So why is that? Because if you vote for that, and you don't vote for that, then if you don't vote for the lesser of two evils, then the bad guy, the worst guy, gets your vote. So if I don't vote, if I in no way go down to the place and vote, somehow they come to my house and steal my vote at night, like the tooth fairy comes and gets my tooth from under my bed, under my pillow. I don't even wake up. She got money and everything. I don't know where she get this money. You see, puts it under my pillow, takes my tooth. This is the bone collector. So you're telling me that some kind of way in politics, a creature comes at night is going to take the vote that I didn't use? Just like Terrence Howard said. How is 1 times 0, 0?
Yeah.
We got some faulty fundamentals. He keeps saying it's a fundamental.
And I saw him in Weinstein and he was trying to go against it. But before I go there, even you said, and I don't do a lot of politics, but it's almost like you were saying, you have this thing this year where it's good versus evil. Almost they're trying to present it this way. And at the other part, I tell people all the time, I mean, whoever they vote, whoever any of you vote for is up to you. Because I don't believe that all the people that, I don't believe all the people who would vote for Trump is a racist. I just don't, I don't buy it. I don't do that. However, I do believe all racists vote for Trump. But the whole point is people have to understand once again that, again, authority is not the truth. That's where I'm going with this whole part. You have to have your truth as authority. And I think that's where a lot of people don't dig deeper. They're not searching for their own truth is reason why they're following all of this bad authority. And at the same time, like you said, they're not changing the spell. So they rather take the authority, the spell of an authority, and make it their truth. And therefore, it just perpetuate what is truly happening. And it takes me to the word abracadabra. I don't think a lot of people really know the Arabic meaning of that is you are the creator. And I think that's where you would see that, abracadabra, and that was more of a spell of creativity, when it comes down to this. But I want to move into water. You said something earlier about water.
We got to go back.
Okay, let's go back. Go back then.
A lot of this comes from a time before Christianity when people felt, most people, not everybody, felt that God was a woman.
Okay.
And that nature was the spiritual vibration or the spiritual manifestation of life. Okay. Everything was connected. In church, they got a name for this. What do they call it? In church, you were into what? There's a word they use. I'm going to let y'all find it. It begins with, I'm not going to tell you.
But you give them a clue.
If you're not in the way the church says things, then it is what? Pagan.
Well, yeah, the way of
the
devil.
Do you know what paganism means?
Yeah.
It means people who felt God was a woman, people who felt that nature and trees and plants and herbs, was where the power was. The sky, the stars all had meaning. They took that away and said, no. There's this dude in the sky blowing the clouds, and he's watching you, everything you do. And he's jealous. He don't want you following no other gods. Is there other gods? This thing gets deep, man.
Well, you said that in the Bible. People think it's not, no other God.
We don't even know what the Bible says.
Yeah.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yes.
When you read that book or any book, you're getting your own vibration. Your own world is being created based on how you're harmonizing with yourself, based on the frequencies of what you could eat a meal and read the Bible and get one understanding, one overstanding, and then eat another meal and it'll be changed. It'll change.
But they said it's designed that way, though. The Bible was supposedly originally designed.
The Bible was created by men.
And it was designed to make
the world. But you ain't even reading the whole book.
Yeah, I was reading that.
We keep going back to the book, and the people say, well, the Bible proves itself. Well, how does it prove itself? Any holy books were written And I'm not saying there's not good stuff in any of these books, including the Bible. I'm saying is who's reading it? What do you hear? There's a message that, right, is a blank slate that you can pick up those words and those vibrations the way you would like to.
Yeah,
based on
yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Give you another personal piece.
Real quickly.
We're going to do water in a minute. We got to go to water.
Okay, but not water. I was just going to say something about the Bible because I was learning a while back that they were saying when that Bible was created, it was created in such a way that it's going to resonate with any person based on where they are. It was designed that way, right? So if they're here, when they're reading it, their interpretation is going to resonate there. If they're here, it's all knowing that they're going to cover all the bases there, you know?
Abracadabra.
There you go. Look, that's it. That's in my book of right here, Sacred Secrets, right there. Abracadabra, baby.
Bracadabra. That's
there
God.
It is.
It's creator, and it's male and female.
There you go.
Abum de Bweshmaya. That's male and female. You see what I'm saying? It's male and female. Yep. You have to have some mating going on. It just can't be one thing out there by itself creating everything. So it's also how you meet the book, how you meet the words. Yeah. You can use any of those books. They're all a part of spelling. They're all a part of language. Where are you coming from? Where are you coming from? What would you like to receive out of the world? So sometimes we're looking for someone to tell us what something means. So they read something from a book and tell you what that means. What do you pick up from it? What are you gathering from it? It's based on the language syntax already in your head. It's based on the encyclopedia in your head where you think you know what words mean. Most people don't even really truly know where English comes from, what words really mean, what is the etymology and the root of almost all the words we use. So you think in words. So there's a problem here because the language that you speak in is not, it doesn't even explain deeply what we're saying.
Yeah,
it's not the best language to explain. Like when you say spirituality, what do you mean? I don't know what you mean. People tell me, like, Dr. B, I'm spiritual. Everybody's spiritual. Did you know that? How could you not be spiritual? Your blood spirals. Your blood spirals around. Your blood vessels can go around the planet, and it's spiraling. And in what, half a minute or whatever it is, your blood leaves your heart, goes all the way around the world and comes back to the heart. It's spiraling. Your nervous system is spirals. Your hair grows in spirals. Everything is spiraling. So you have to be spiritual. To be spiritual means that you're growing and expanding. You're never in the same place. But see, when you start thinking that 1 times 0 equals 0, something's off. Because hell no. If you say Roderick, if I multiply Roderick times nothing, Roderick will disappear. What happened to Roderick?
Yeah, what happened to him? Yeah.
We multiplied him by 0. You see, it's the faulty, right? Perceptions. It's the faulty information we've been given from the root. So almost everything, even what I'm saying right now, is not based in anything that's totally factual. It's how you feel it. How do you feel? What do you feel from what Dr. B is saying or what from Roderick says? It's not actual facts. It's a feeling. Some people like Dr. B because he's a little distant. Some people don't like him. Some people like Roderick because he's this and that. By the way, Roderick, I can see the cleanse really did good to you, man.
Yeah, it did. In fact, I'll give a huge testimonial about that in a little bit for people because, man, your stuff is on point. They need to get it. In fact, put it in the chat so they can get the link. We'll talk about it. In fact, I'll talk about it now. So anyway, guys, he sent me this box, man. He says, I want to, and he's always been dear and just my boy and just, I call him and, get his mind on a couple of things. And he calls back or answer. So one day we was just talking. He says, man, I got something for you. Because I was telling him that I wanted to work on weight loss and really get myself into a whole other situation and do that. So next thing you know, I get this box and I open it up. It's got all this stuff and stuff for my teeth, rubbing my teeth, and I'm taking all of this stuff for parasites and all of this. And then all of a sudden, I was like, did that come out of me? And I'm like, whoa, and then it just went to another level. Energy. a little more mind clarity, all these different things. So I'm taking all of this stuff, and this was several months ago, and I went to the doctor today, and I was probably down, I don't know, 40, 50 pounds, and so it's, but you have to start right there. One thing that he mentioned was that we got to get that inside right first, because no matter what you start putting them in here, they're still in there. They're gathering up everything. And man, I just want to appreciate it. I think a lot of people need to try the cleanse. I think they need to get your total body package, and people will be shocked of what's going to come out from it. And I'm not saying the result that you are going to get. I'm just saying things that you don't know is hiding right and walking and moving with you every day. You need to get them off of you. I'm telling you now. So, man, I appreciate that. And real quickly, you said something about using words. I was just studying, and make sure you put it in the chat so they can find the link to that too. But one of the things that, how we say the old saying, every blue moon, and we know that means something that doesn't happen frequently. But I was just studying, because this is what I've been doing lately. And that came from way back in time, when every 4 years, the full moon happens twice in 1 month. And it just happened last year. And they call it every blue moon. Now, we've now taken it in context, even though it's frequency of a rare event. But today we use it just in context, just like we use, oh, holy cow, and all these words, and don't even know, like you were just saying, that they actually have meanings, from animals, birds, to all these different things, but yet they're lost in translation, over time. And yet we just go about our way saying things. And oftentimes some stuff is not good to be saying, because we have no clue to where it comes from.
A lot of times we're saying things that, if you really find the root of it, it's rooted in what they call paganism.
Yeah.
Even having a Christmas tree in the house, it's rooted from some stuff that was borrowed from some ancient people, and they mixed it with this new stuff to get people to be involved in a religion, right? So there's things that were twisted up. You see what I'm saying? And
right.
It's okay, because you have got to redefine yourself. It's not about what they were trying to do and why they wrote a certain book, or where they were coming from. Where are you coming from? What would you like to create? You've got to begin to create your own spell. Repetition is the key. Now, when I was seeing clients, we used to do a thing where we would create a chart, and we would find out what your triggers were, what word triggers, what things that would happen would trigger you. And we created a chart where every time you were triggered, you would put a mark on your calendar and say what day and what time. I was triggered by what they said. I didn't like the way they called me this. And we would make a 28-day map, and you would see the lines, and it would be a flow. And on certain days and certain times during the month, you would be triggered by almost everything. In certain times of the month, you wouldn't be triggered. There's a whole map and a whole rhythm to the way you're living. You're living in a rhythm. It's like a loop. You become loopy because you're living in this loopy system. Commercials come around every so many seconds, but everything is programmed to get you, and it's usually in sevens, right? Every 7 seconds, every 7 minutes, every 7 days. It has to do with programming you to agree to something that's not based in anything factual, but it's getting you to just go along with whatever they're telling you to go along with. You have to agree with that. You see, you can break the spell, because the spell is based on repetition. The subconscious mind is programmed, reprogrammed, and deprogrammed based on repetition. It's the repetition. It's the mantra. Look, a lot of folks come to me with their mantra, and they say, Dr. B, listen to this mantra. And the mantra starts out by saying what they in no way like, or what they don't want. I don't want to have cancer. I don't want to be lonely. I don't want to such. First, cancel, cut, delete, clear that, because I don't want to send that out to the universe. So
right.
Be careful when you're creating your mantra or your talk or the chorus of your day or the melody of your song each day, that you're not repeating something that you in no way desire. So if you're talking about the enemy, if you're talking about what they did to you, you're giving power to that thing. You're giving more power to what you call the enemy, which means it's in a you, in a me. Why not only speak of what you desire? If you can get to the point where you're catching your words, you become a word catcher. When you begin to hunt, you got to hunt down certain words and certain thoughts and feelings. You got to be a hunter, right? You go find and catch this stuff and say, I am going to change the way I'm speaking. We do a class. We have a class coming up soon. It's be actually, I think it'll be either at the end of this year.
Is it on the same website that I have right on the screen?
It's a lot of classes up there. ElevationTime.com. It's a lot of classes up there. Classes, workshops. You know, we even have I have a whole course of I don't know how many classes it is in a bundle. You can buy a bundle of Dr. B classes. I've been teaching a long time, teaching folks how to use the power within, how to manifest.
The God power.
But a lot of times you're manifesting what you're focusing on the most. And if you're focusing on the enemy, if you're focusing on the devil, if you're focusing on badness and the enemy, that manifests and it has more triggers than anything else. Why is the disagreeable, right? Why does the disagreeable energy have such a hold on us? Because it comes from the survival instinct. When you're living in the woods, you would like to survive. So you're looking for something that could unalive you. Right? So you're focusing on that a lot. So those are your triggers sometimes. And sometimes words are unaliving you. Feelings are killing you. They're sucking your life off. These are mental, physical, and spiritual parasites. So what we do is we help people speak what they desire only. Make it first person, positive, present tense. It's got to be in the present. You can't talk about the future because the future didn't come. The future is a mystery. The history you cannot change. But you can change the now time, the nowness in this moment by speaking in a way which is moving you towards your desires, because your speech is like wave casting into the quantum field. And once you wave cast over and over and over and broadcast into the quantum field, that vibration actually becomes material. Those quantum particles actually collect together and condense and become things. This has been proven over and over. We are creating our world. I don't care what you heard in the news. That news is a nuisance, and it's a nuisance half the time because it is not even really the truth. Just because he speaks in a certain voice. Oh, she speaks in that voice, and it sounds like she knows what she's talking about. How are you going to tell me what the people are voting for? Right now, such and such is ahead in the polls. What polls? I didn't vote.
Yeah. Like where was that
Lucy,
at?
You're going to tell me Lucy is the first human. You found her in Olduvai Gorge. They was digging and they found her. She's the first woman. That's the first being. Hold on now. You dug one hole. Well, let's say you dug 25 holes in the place that you feel life began. Where'd you get this knowledge? And you dug one hole. Did they dig in your yard when you was young? Roderick, did they dig holes in your backyard?
They dig holes in my backyard. And you know what? You're making some points, because I remember sitting down with a marketing team once, and he asked me how many sales did I make on this product. This was about 6-7 years ago. I said, I only have one sale. So he started working on my website, and he put 100% of people bought this product. And I said, what the hell? What are you talking about? He said, 100% of people bought the product. That one person. I was like, is that how we rolling? Yeah. I was like, shit, okay.
See, they can create this. This is the whole thing with statistics. They tell you how many people is getting prostate cancer, how many different people is this. And they tell you, and if you believe it, then you go along with it. But basically, they're spelling and creating and molding your brain to feel that they are the authority figures. So you're hearing something, then you see something, then your RAS system, the reticular activating system, which is the most important thing. In fact, make sure you go to our website, elevationtime.com. Go there now and get on the email list, because Dr. Mahdi is a very, 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 very intelligent, deep brother. Dr. Mahdi and I are doing a class, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, about how to take full control of your reticular activating system, which is where you get this whole power of attraction, the law of attraction. It's deep because you're already using the law of attraction. You're attracting everything.
Right.
You're attracting, you're very attractive. You're magnetic. You're attracting a lot of times the things you like and the things you in no way like. Why? Because of how you're speaking, how you're moving, how you're eating, how you're living. You're attracting that vibratory rate to yourself, and you're being met with the vibration from the universe that matches what you're thinking you are, when you're actually a whole different being at the root. But we've been we've been cloned, we've been modeled, and all of a sudden now we've lost our authenticity by joining in with a system that's all fake. It's plastic, it's polyvinyl chloride. Then everybody wants to be fake. So we got fake eyelashes, fake butts, fake breasts. They got fake 6-packs for the brothers. You can get injected and have your 6-pack and a couple whatevers. You understand what I'm saying? Fake everything. Why? People are afraid to be their natural selves. Why? Because they're told you need to look a certain way. And while you're trying to look a certain way and present yourself a certain way that is not real, it's causing inflammation and dis-ease in your body.
Yeah.
Where people are willing to be sick, to try to look good, to sound good, to have a few minutes of fame and get likes. That's what they want. Likes. Somebody told me, so Dr. B, you don't be getting enough likes. You ain't got enough followers. Look, I'm looking for leaders.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for likes. I don't want you to like me. That's not what I'm desiring, for you to like me. I have no need for your likes. I'd like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would be great.
Oh, by the way, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's not a like. That is a subscription.
That's a subscription. It's totally different. Use a different voice and you'll change your life. Listen, the reticular activating system. Once you learn how to take control of this, everything changes. Everything. Because the reticular activating system, part of your brain, which is about the size of your little finger, and it's got tentacles on it, goes up into all parts of your brain, connects to the limbic system, and it is listening to what you're focusing on. It vibrates based on what you're focusing on, what you're thinking, and what you're saying, and it searches for more evidence to prove that that is a powerful thing. You want a green Volkswagen. You decide you want a yellow Volkswagen, a green Volkswagen. And guess what? Guess what? All you start seeing is the green and yellow Volkswagens. They pop up everywhere. You decide you want a certain person in your life. They show up. You want somebody this tall and this, all of a sudden it's a whole bunch of them. Because the reticular activating system, it uses gravity and magnetism to pull you towards the frequency of what you think you desire. So it shows up. It shows up because you're focusing on it. It's like you're the captain of the ship and you're focusing on a destination. Whatever that destination is, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, it doesn't make any difference. It's up what you are magnetizing yourself to. So what we're going to be teaching in this course, and this is going to be next Saturday. We'll probably do like a, what is that noise? It sounds like a tornado coming.
That would be this little mic thing.
I know y'all got bad weather down there. I heard y'all had.
No, it's this little, it comes on and off. It's like the little mic.
Okay. But listen, this course is going to be the Soulful Science of Change. We did Soulful Science of Change 1, 2, and 3. This is Dr. Mahdi and myself, which is at elevationtime.com. I would say go and invest in this because this is the game changer. People who took the class, their lives have changed. It's like you're guaranteed if you begin to use these products to actually have a different outcome, because you're beginning to focus and create the world you desire based on your words, based on your thoughts, because most of us are predicting. Using words, you're using the words that you say, which is the spelling, to predict what you would like to show up. Now, you might say, well, I'm not predicting. I just don't want nothing bad to happen. You just predicted something bad. You just programmed yourself to go find something disagreeable. And you're going to find it all day long. You'll be on YouTube finding everything disagreeable. There may be a few things on YouTube or on the radio or in the world that's actually good, but you're focusing on looking for more problems. So you're predicting that there are problems. And now what you've done is on the event horizon, problems always exist, right? There's always problems. Yeah. There's always solutions. They're always existing, but you begin to attract the thing that you say you no longer desire. So you've got to create a different language. You've got to speak a different way, walk a different way. And it's not easy, but it's simple. So what Dr. Mahdi and I are going to be doing is giving you the steps. Now, the ad for it is not on the website yet. It'll be up by this Saturday. And Dr. Mahdi will come on this Saturday. And we're going to do a quick talk about what the class is going to be about. That's next Saturday. Okay? So that's
what exact date is that? That is the 20th? July 20th?
It's the Soulful Science of Change and Metamorphosis classes. It's a group of them. So we did 3 already, and people actually got a rebirth certificate who took the class live.
What?
They got a rebirth certificate because your birth certificate does what certified you being here right now is all off. That certificate, that bill of lading that said what was on your ship and who you were, we got to change that so that you can pull into the dock, right, as a different person. You could change everything right now. There's never been a better time to change.
Do you prefer or not prefer, but do you suggest couples make sure they attend stuff like this? Because what happens if one person comes away and the other half didn't even attend the thing, and now is that a division in this house now because the mind has expanded?
It depends, because sometimes you'll be in the bed, one will be taken, one will be left, one will be lifted off. The ships will come, the mothership will come and take
2027.
Huh?
2027?
Some people are being taken. We're beginning to see a huge divide right now.
Yeah.
A lot of us had relationships, and all of a sudden something happened in 2024. We kept saying, watch out for 2024.
Yeah.
2024 is an 8 vibration that's going to be built or destroyed. A lot of folks in relationships, they decided they couldn't handle it, or they didn't want to handle it, or they didn't have patience, or they just got the concept of love got confused, what love is. And if somebody's not feeding you the type of love that you think you need, then you'll break up with them. You got to go because you want a certain kind of love, because everybody has a different definition of what love is. Just because you say, I love you, I love you. I don't know what that means when you say you love me. I really don't know what that means to you unless we have a very deep conversation about what love means to you. What's love got to do with it? Love has got everything to do with it. But some people, they show you, right, that their type of love and what they expect and what they need is different than what you have. So what we're having is a lot of people breaking up and breaking out and breaking free and starting something new. A lot of people coming together in groups and families right now. They're just looking for people that all think alike. A certain soul group can come together based on them all having soul. You got to have soul and be super bad. Right about now, you got to get away from the candy counter because that sugar is taking you out. That sugar kills your hypothalamus, your pituitary, your pineal gland, all about white sugar, brown sugar. The sugar is taking you out so you can't think. Sugar. Just a little bit of sugar makes the medicine go down, a spoonful of sugar. So what they're doing is sugar coating everything and promising you things that are not real. The tooth fairy's back, she's coming in your wall. The fairy tales are online. Right now, you are beginning to get to the place where you've got to choose. Are you ready to choose? You've got to retune yourself. The music you've been listening to, what type of music is it? I don't care. That's why I tell people you better go to the 70s music if you'd really like to get something that can help you. Go to the 70s.
Yeah.
Because in the 70s, that music was all about lifting us up. Then we went to the 80s and it began to drop down, and we got to the 2000s. Now we're at some place where the commercial music is a trap. It's a loop. And you've got your favorite singers singing and saying some things and throwing up signs and symbols, and you're going to the concert? You're involved in this? You're listening to this? And most of the music today, even if it's quote unquote positive or good music, is tuned to the frequency of 440, which is the destructive tool which controls people's brains. 440 is what almost all music is tuned to in the Western world. Unless you start looking into the concept of making music in 432. This is what Dr. B does. I've got music on the website at elevationtime.com. Go there, go to shop, go to medicine music, and I create music that is based on the frequencies 432, which is a sacred frequency, and 528. When you begin to study those frequencies, it changes everything, because most of the music, even if it's positive or good music, if it's tuned to 440, it has a destructive self-destruct signal in it. It could be your best love song. It could be positive, it's healing music, but it's tuned to what frequency? 440. And 440 goes into your cells and says to self-destruct. It changes the way you live. It changes your perspective of life. It has to do with the way you perceive how long you'll be here. Your life expectancy changes based on music that you're listening to that's looped up, that's messed up, that's taking you down. And they're allowing so much on the radio. All of these things right now are just dropping you down. You got to figure out who you are, and you got to figure out who's not like you. They not like us. They not like us. Do you realize what this is about? Do you realize what Kendrick is saying? Do y'all hear what Terrence Howard is saying?
If you go back to that though, and I even have it in this little book. I don't know why I keep referring to it, but music is magic. You've been saying it all night, right? And like I said before, it's a form of frequency that you cannot protect. You can protect yourself from it, but they can invade you unknowingly, right? They can just, you walk down in a hallway in a mall or some shit and you don't see that shit coming, and you listening to some music and you don't know why, you get ready to jump off the dang on balcony or something, right? Because these people are doing this stuff. So we talk about a lot of that in this little book. But to go back to what you're saying, and make sure y'all get a copy, go to his website as well. It's all about education, not just education, man. Like you said, liberation. This is the whole context of the conversation tonight, is to liberate you. But it has to be done with you. It's no Mother Teresa syndrome. And I've done that in the past, where you want it more for people than they want it for themselves. And you spend all your energy trying to help somebody and tell them, hey, you need to go do this. You need to go watch. Everybody who's here now is supposed to be here. And everybody who's going to get this, if you shared it with them, is supposed to get it, because it's all in connectivity. And like I said, nothing just happens. But they're after our souls. They're after our minds. And through the mind, they're going to get access to the souls. And it is a war going on. And it's in plain sight, so to speak. We just miss it because we are so inundated with all the BS that they have in front of us and everything else. And I think, you've been harping on it. And so make sure, again, y'all do those courses that he's talking about, and I'm just blessed enough that I pick up the phone and call him when I have things that hit me instantaneously. And if he didn't answer, not one time ever have he not returned my call that same day or within hours, moments, or whatever. And it's so funny because when I call him, he'll call me and says, "Oh, it's a blessing that you call me. You hear?" It's like I did the favor of to him, but yet I'm calling to learn something or to share. And like I say, man, it's been that way from the very first day we met. We met at the, I think I was getting some pies or something at that time, and you were like, that's gonna kill you. Here I am about to get the strawberry. He started like, that right there is not. And I'm looking over his plate, some fruit. My plate got shortcakes and a little stuff at the time. And of course, I don't do that anymore. But just to have people that are willing to not overstep, but to know that the energy matches, that they can be truthful and honest with you. And then that other part was, I'm going to bless you with an ebook. And so, man, it's just been amazing for that. Let's talk about the water. Let's get to water, the frequency of water, and how water, you now can speak to your water. And if you do it right, you can drink the vibration that you need. You can do that. And a lot of people don't know, especially when you're drinking hydrant water, sewage water, all that is in it, the energy. They've done studies, frequency, and all of this where, and you can take love, hate. I think they did a frequency where they even put words, by the way, spells underneath water, and then froze it, and literally the water took the shape of the meaning of the word. I don't think people know that. I see you rubbing it. I see you about to go in hard on that. Go ahead.
Well, I'm sweating because my air conditioning went down just before the show. They was trying to get me to not come on. So it's
all right. Well, we got about 15 more minutes. How about that? That'll work.
I hung some wet rags in front of the fan and came on. I said, I'm from the old school. That's air conditioning. But
hey, man,
understand, understand, and withstand that water is a living creature. It's living crystals. It's a living thing, and it takes on the vibration of what it's around, what it's near, and what it's floating in, or what it's contained in. When you hold water in your hand, or you're about to drink, and you think a certain thought, the water begins to crystallize itself based on that thought. It is listening to you. Your body is mostly water. So whatever you are thinking or feeling, you are polluting or cleaning or purifying the waters of your body. Water is everything. Mama Wata. You see, Mami Wata. See, she is listening to you. So you've got to start taking your water. So I'll drink water like this. I've got it in copper, right? Because copper puts copper into the water, which keeps it fresh. It keeps it clear and pure, and it puts copper frequency in your water. And we won't get into that right now, but I'll hold it in my right hand and I'll just say love. I'll say harmony or prosperity or whatever I'd like to program into the water, and the water listens and creates the frequency. As you see, he's showing you those crystals, those beautiful crystals that are not distorted. They're all 6-sided crystals, right? That are created based on the frequency of your thoughts, based on the frequency of your feeling. And you're doing this in your body, but if you've got hatred, you've got angry energy, then you are programming yourself with that type of energy. You might think you're talking about somebody else, but you're talking about yourself, because there's nothing outside of you more powerful than what's inside of you. So water itself is carrying the frequency of what is in it. And I don't care where you get your water, from the spring water. People talk about us boys got to be this kind of water, that kind of water.
Yeah.
What you've got to, number one, begin to do is to take your water and reprogram it. Now, there is a device on my website. There's a couple of devices, but there's one. It's a rod that you rub on the outside of your water. Did I have it? I thought I had it here. You just touch this on the outside of your water, and it crystallizes your water, and it makes the water have those beautiful crystals. You see, it is shaping the water. The Shape of Water, powerful movie, by the way. The Shape of Water. This is it's about the nomos. Anyway, the shape of your water is very important. So you've got to either shape it yourself or use a device. So we do have a device at elevationtime.com. There's several devices that deal with radiation. Now I want you to think about this. You could buy the best water in the world. It's in this atmosphere, isn't it? Well, what else is in the atmosphere?
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, right? Bluetooth frequencies. You know what I'm saying? You got 5G. Now you got 6G now. They didn't even tell you all about. 6G is out. All these different frequencies, right, that are affecting your water, and it's in the water, even if it's the best spring water in the world. If it was in this atmosphere for seconds, it's now picked up the frequency of everything. I don't care what water it is. So you've got to constantly, every time you drink your water, say something or write something on the container. As Roderick said, you could write something on the container, and the water picks up the frequency of what you've written. Basically, one word or one goal. Don't get all deep and try to put a whole mantra and a whole dictionary book on your water. It's too much. Yeah. Water is intelligent. It's listening to you. So we must begin to program the water.
Yeah, I do a lot of vibrational codes. I sell this on my site too, where we do a lot of energy vibrational codes, and then I'll set my water on it. Like, it's the flower life, and then the codes are there, and it works a lot. A lot of people get it. I put it under my pillows or whatever, but you're correct. They need to go to your site, get some few things, just pretty much. And I just, the more deeper that I get into this, I'm studying symbols. I probably got 18, 22 books in the last month or two, not month or two, but the last 3 weeks. Symbols and all, and just how far off the map that we are, and how things are hidden, plain sight, all of these things, and it just makes so much sense. But starting with the minor things that people could do, like you said, is just speak to your stuff, speak life into your water, or it's going in your body. So why not start there? Yeah, and yourself. There you go. And it's all sitting there, pretty much. And it makes me think of the movie Avatar, when they shot the animal, and right before they ate it, they told the animal, "Thank you, gracious brother, for providing me nourishment," and whatever. I mean, yeah, you just killed him. He is kind of ticked off. So let's change his spirit a little bit. Yeah, okay, brother. I appreciate you going to allow me to eat you right now. But still, it's all about, again, the spells, the vibration, the things that we think does not exist because our eyes doesn't see it. Because I tell people all the time, your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. And there's so many, and it can be right in front of you, but if your mind is not opening up, which is the things that Doc teaches, that I learned from him, because you got to start with the mind. And when that mind expands, because it works best like a parachute, it works best when it's open, of course. Then you get to a point where you can let more things in, and then the curiosity, because I do that now as a UFO investigator. I don't like to tell people, oh, the aliens are here. No, I'm gonna give you enough information you can read, things you can speak, things that you can hear to awaken your curiosity to the possibility, so that you then take it the rest of the way on your own, and it wasn't forced on you. And just like he's doing now, nobody's forcing you to make the change. We're just giving you the warning that there has been change. Things are happening. They're already planning, and they're attacking us the easiest way, not by guns, because we're doing it to ourselves, not by they're saying, you know what? They're going to turn on the radio station. They're going to turn on the television. They're going to do all of this stuff. And you go over to fucking Japan right now, they ban TikTok, but yet it's over here and it's their product. Their kids can only get on the internet for maybe an hour a day, and they're still smart, very smart. Is it because they're not on the internet? But yet we hand our 4-year-olds and 3-year-old iPads access to the internet, TikTok, so we don't have a conversation with our kids. Here, keep them busy, give them TikTok. Oh, they love it. He know how to do it himself. Really, really, really. And you start looking at the Minions and all of this stuff, where it's got the all-seeing eye on it. It's got the on it jacket of the Minion. Kids are watching it like crazy. It's the Masonic symbol. It's right there in plain sight. And we are feeding it to our children. We're giving it to them because it's easier for us to not have to deal with our children and the next generation, and we let them guide them. But do we really know what they're doing?
Here's the thing. Whatever they are doing is technically none of our business.
Okay.
You will be challenged. I mean, somewhere there's a deer out there and there's wolves about to eat it. Are the wolves bad? The wolves are looking for food. They need energy. A lot of beings out here need energy, and they're parasitic. So they'll use and drink your energy if you allow them. So yes, most of the people are caught up in a spell or in a vibration that's not the best for them, but that's their choice. We can't help them. It's not about what someone's attempting to do to you. It's what you're doing for yourself, by yourself, with yourself, and not looking for the validation. If we keep talking about what they're doing, we keep giving it power. It has no power. You see? So we put the flower of life. Here's one of my products, Focus. I don't know if you can see it. Every one of my products.
I'm going to put it on the screen. Hang on a second. I'm going to put it up by.
Every one of the products that we have here at Elevation, I don't know if this fit the focus, because I got this new camera that focuses only on certain things. Let's see if I do it this way. But all of our products have the flower of life on them. Why? We've been putting the flower of life on our products for a long time. Why?
Right.
Because when you look at it, it creates a balanced state of mind before you drink the product. It is also harmonizing the product that's in this bottle. Remember we said earlier, whatever you write on water, it takes on that vibration. So we've put the flower of life on every bottle of products, every product that we have at elevationtime.com. Why?
Yeah.
Because you need to be in a balanced state to accept what's about to come down. It's not just, oh, I got some cleanse. I specialize in parasites, right? So I took some parasite herbs. What people don't know is who's touching that bottle, who's been around it, the energy in the room where it was created, the truck that drove it. All of those things are affecting what's in that bottle, because water is being affected by its environment. Your body is being affected by your environment. Your cells are being affected by their environment. Your genes are being affected by your environment. So we attempt to do the best to contain the environment on our products as possible. I specialize in parasites. Parasites are entities or things that live in you and on you that would use you as a host if you allow it. They're natural things. They're not really evil, but they can become, they can't take your body out of balance, because if you have a high population of parasites, they begin to eat you alive. They're looking to eat. They're looking to eat inferior matter. And a lot of your life is inferior. And a lot of your life doesn't matter because you're not mattering to yourself. If you got to tell people you matter, I matter, then you don't matter. If you got to say that, you need to be the matter. Become the matter. You ain't got to tell nobody my life matters. Be mattering. Be the matter of fact. So if you've got parasites will keep you from ever reaching your goal at fullest potential, at highest potential. Because they're eating you. They're eating your ideas. There's a parasite called toxoplasma. Get the book, Your Brain on Parasites. This is Your Brain on Parasites. Get this book.
Same website, right?
No, this is not on my website. You just go to wherever to get this site. This is not my book. This is a
okay
book. This is Your Brain on Parasites. How tiny creatures manipulate our behavior and shape our society. Did you know most people, because of parasites, it's hard for them to change? And parasites are what helps create almost every disease we have. Did you know that? Almost every disease state, mental, physical, and spiritual, is connected to parasites. This is some deep stuff. You're talking about aliens. Never mind the ones up in the sky. What about the ones, the internal ones, right? You know, the innerverse parasites that are inside you that come from other places that will eat you alive. So my specialty has been for many years to help people detoxify from parasites. So the physical parasites are affecting you. There's the ones in the gut, right? The gut parasites, the intestinal parasites, they're not that hard to get rid of. You don't need to do a lot. There's simple things you can do. Eat pumpkin seeds, raw pumpkin seeds for a week, and a few other things that you could do, cloves and black walnut hulls. There's things that you can do. Diatomaceous earth, that's great for what we call the gut parasites. My specialty is systemic parasites that live throughout your system. There's heartworms. There's fluke worms living in your thyroid gland, which controls your immune system. There's pinworms living in your gut that are actually causing you to not digest correctly or not use they have to do with the colon. They actually come out sometime when you're sleeping. You see, there are so many different types of parasites controlling our lives because of the way we eat, because of the way we live, who we mate with, who we sleep with, what environments we're in. And if they're not going to be harmful unless, you don't check them. You got to check, just like you got to check your thoughts. I said to hunt your thoughts, hunt your words, and capture them. You do best by doing a seasonal parasite cleanse. And this is what you've done, Roderick. The Elevated Total Body Program now is known as one of the best systemic parasite cleanses. It may be the only one, actually, because I've never seen one that works like this or does this, that works on systemic parasites that live throughout your body. There's certain parasites that live in the liver, the kidneys, the spleen. Your average parasite cleanse doesn't touch them. The average parasite cleanse is for the colon, for the digestive tract. What we're dealing with is a whole nother level that you can't get to with just herbs. You've got to use essential oils, certain flower essences. We're using magnetic resonance. We're using light frequencies. We're using sound. We're using micronutrients. We're using M-state elements, monoatomic elements, to actually get the body to bring itself into balance by not killing the parasites, but bringing up the frequency of your own immune system so that you can eradicate the parasites, which are causing you to talk a certain way, walk a certain way, eat a certain way, causing you to live a certain way, even mate. Did you know there's parasites that will make you mate? They will make you mate and have sex with somebody because the parasite needs to get to the other person.
Shit. Is that a parasite or a blessed?
I don't know. It depends. See, there's a parasite in your head called toxoplasma. And it has a cousin. Toxoplasma is a mind control parasite. Please look at it. Right. Started out in cats. And as you know, Egypt, they created the domesticated cat. And 6,000 years ago, something landed all over the world. And it infected the domesticated cat's brain with something called toxoplasma.
Right.
Toxoplasma gets into cat poop, and the rats and mice eat it, and they lose their minds, and they forget their cats. They forget their rats, and they don't even run from the cat.
Yeah, they talk about
toxoplasma lives in the amygdala. It lives in the amygdala, and the amygdala has a lot to do with your emotions. So it tricks your emotions. You're upset about things that you really shouldn't even be upset about. You're afraid of some things that really haven't even affected you. You just heard about them. You're mad about something that's got nothing to do with you in other people's business. You see, this is what keeps people in the mass distraction mode. Most people are in mass distraction, like those people walking into that mouth. That's a symptom of toxoplasma. They're not doing what's best for them. They're following the crowd like sheep. That's toxoplasmosis at its highest vibration. Most people have it now. It used to only be in cats. Now it's in the food supply. It keeps people domesticated. That's what they give animals to keep them domestic so they don't run away from the farm. Domesticated animals are all man-made through cloning. You see? So people who have toxoplasma, they cannot get their boat to be on the ship, on the water correctly. They can't reach their destination because the parasite living in their brain is controlling them. Now I'm gonna tell you something I haven't said before that we're gonna pop first time on this show.
All right, then. There we go.
Toxoplasma, which is the mind control parasite, which 70% of the people have, which is how they were able to do that thing a couple years ago and get everybody on the planet scared of something that was questionable. But just leave it there. It has a cousin called uriplasma. Uriplasma lives in the urethra, the urinary tract, and in women in the vagina and the urinary tract, and in men in the penis and the bladder. It's called.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry, what?
Plasma. Uriplasma gets a phone call from toxoplasma that says you need to find a mate so we can travel from one person to another. So you go and you decide to lay down, condoms or not, don't make no difference, because there's still other body fluids touching. I don't know where y'all got the condom idea from, but that's a whole nother thing that you put in this latex on, this toxic thing wrapped up around yourself, and you think that protects you from certain entities. Uriplasma and the toxoplasma work together in concert to get you to have sex with somebody so that the parasite can travel. It's like it's using you like the Amtrak.
Well,
get somewhere.
That's like
now that was some strange shit right there.
So you telling me there is? Can I put that in a bottle? People would buy it. You know, this is the sex parasite. You know, it's like,
look it up, uriplasma.
But we think about reproduction or life and all of that stuff. I mean, is it designed that so that we reproduce? I mean, but even though the parasite is causing it, but there are babies born, there's life, there's stuff. But now what is really happening is this, now that we have this parasite, but is this kid infected with this? I don't know. I mean, what's the whole motion of this thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. A woman who's pregnant, the doctor will tell her, you cannot be around cats. That cat, get rid of them. Or go somewhere where there's no cats. Because cats, they put out this parasite. It's in the kitty litter. It's in the dust in the air from the kitty litter box. It's in the house. It's around the baseboards. It's in the air. It's in the environment. It's on the couch, wherever the cat was. This parasite is causing mind control. This causes the mouse or the rat to forget it's a mouse or a rat. And it doesn't even run and protect itself. What happened in Kemet? I asked Billy this the other day. What happened? All of a sudden, Egypt made all these cats. And soon afterwards, they had more cats, more because domesticated cats don't have toxoplasma. I mean, I'm cancel, cut, delete, and clear. Wild cats don't have toxoplasma, and their eyes look different, their mouth looks different. There's something very special about domesticated cats. They have the slit pupils. Only domesticated cats have this, from what I understand. Now, somebody's out there who studies animals and says, well, Dr. B, you're exaggerating. Okay, all right, maybe you go do your research and check on this. But from what I know, the cats that are domesticated were made in Egypt. And soon after that, after these things were noticed, these things landed, these beings landed, the people lost their power. Egypt fell quickly and suddenly. What I have found out, that I don't know if anybody else has looked into, that it most likely was the cats and the toxoplasma that the people were infected, because the toxoplasma, what I have been taught is that it's a drone. It's a biological weapon left by these entities that came here 6,000 years ago, and they left these entities in cats. And the people have been taken over, and the planet is being terraformed by getting the people to be so inflamed and so hateful and so angry and upset and disagreeable and disenchanted that they destroy themselves. That's terraforming. It's not just heating up the atmosphere.
But when cats revered, though, back in Egyptian times?
Yes, they were. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They made them.
Okay.
They were.
But in the mummy feared the cat.
Amen. Because the cat's a very special thing, especially the domestic cat.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So my concept, and I'm going to be talking about this in my book, which will be out soon. So make sure you're on the email list at elevationtime.com.
Hey, are you going to do a pre-order at the Conscious Awards?
We're not sure if it's going to be ready in time, but we're talking about it. And it will be, published by Forbidden Knowledge, and the book is off the chain. I'm talking about some things that I don't know if anyone ever has talked about before.
Yeah, my
some people say, "Well, Dr. B, where can I go find proof of what you're talking about?" Well, when you go find the proof was written by somebody. I mean, all ideas and concepts or theories created by somebody. That doesn't make it an actual fact. In fact, if you listen to Terrence Howard, he says most of the theories and things that you know of are not correct.
Yeah.
They're faulty fundamentals from the beginning. So you got to go read up on some stuff. I am channeling something right now, and everybody here is channeling something that has never been thought or felt or spoken or created before. But we think there's got to be some place that it came from. Well, Dr. B, I didn't see any European books that said that because I'm not European.
Yeah.
And what's coming through Dr. B right now is totally unique. I'm off the chain. What I'm doing, nobody's ever done. The music, I'm working on 2 songs right now. In fact, one will be out next week. It's called what is it called? The Sonic Immersion 2. It'll be on my YouTube. You've never heard any music like this before. You never even heard these sounds before. I'm working on another song that should be out there. It'll be a commercial release called The Sun, about the power of the sun. When the sun and the and Sirius and the Earth are in perfect alignment, which they're in right now, by the way, which is a big thing. This is the Independence Day vibration we're in now. When the sun, the Earth, and Sirius are in perfect alignment, it causes independence in ourselves because your solar plexus comes online and it begins to get recharged, and you become independent from your past if you're aware of it. You become independent from other people. You become totally creative at this particular time. And this gives you the power that you need to manifest in the fall. The sun is charging us. The 2 suns, the Sirius sun, the sun in our sky, all of them are charging us right now. We're charged with changing. We're photovoltaic. We're taking light and turning it into electricity. This is what we are. We're sun creatures. You see, we were told to be afraid of the sun and go get some suntan, whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So basically, let's get back to this now. Whether you have a cat or not is not the thing. People say, well, I got cats, so I'm not going to get rid of it. I didn't tell you to get rid of your cat.
No, nobody said that.
I'm telling you that cats is where this thing started. This drone that's inside the heads of 70% of the people, which causes mind control. It causes people to be subservient. This causes people to have chronic servitude syndrome. You always think you got to help everybody. You're always minding other people's business and not business in your own mind. You're always gossiping and talking about other people and saying what they didn't do and talking about the enemy and what they was doing to you and what they did to you in the past and what they're going to do to you in the future and what's going to be happening in 2025. Dr. B, you heard about the thing happening in 2025? I got to deal with what's happening right now in 2024 in my own body.
Yeah.
Don't scare me into some stuff. I got to vote a certain way because you heard about the program 2025. They're going to kill off everybody. You're killing off friendly bacteria right now in your body by talking some unfriendly talk. Back on course. I created something called the Elevated Total Body Program.
Yep.
This was when as I talked on the show once before, about me having an experience in the Bermuda Triangle in 1996. Not on purpose. But it changed me, and I got some information, and I got a download about these entities that are some are non-physical, some are physical, that are controlling people on many, many levels. Once you become aware of them, then you can begin to change the program. So we created this Elevated Total Body Program, which has been great for many, many years since 1996 has been one of the top parasite cleanse programs on the planet. But guess what? I went out to Las Vegas to go be on the Sean, what's his name? Sean Kelly show. Billy, he hooked it up. He says, man, you need to go be on this show, which will be coming out, I think, in the next couple of weeks. And while I was out there, I went out in the desert to pick some plants that we use in our cleanse. And they began to talk to me. The desert began to talk to me. I began to see rocks on the ground with certain symbols on them. And all of a sudden, it came to me that I needed to add some things to the cleanse that worked on spiritual or non-physical parasites that most people have. So we use these 3 plants that are on the desert. Well, actually, 2 of them are on the desert. One grows near the desert in the subtropics. And we put these plants and these new elements in the cleanse. So our cleanse now deals with non-physical parasites or spiritual parasites. Because if you figure, well, it's more things than just some people controlling you and your food. What's causing you to choose some of the foods and choose the relationships? Why did you choose to have sex with this person? Why did you choose to go and do blah, blah, blah? Why are you under this spell? Because some of the spells are spells that are coming from the universe, from the omniverse. Some of these frequencies, right, are frequencies that you're challenged with to break. We're here to break certain frequencies, break certain habits so that we could create liberation. If you're just talking about doing some spiritual work and you got your sage and your singing bowl and your sound bath and your positive music and your positive mantras, but you haven't cleansed your body is still on the frequency from birth. Now let's go back to birth again, because you asked a really deep question, Roderick. When a woman is around cats during birth, it causes the baby's brain to never totally develop. So the parasite is very intelligent. It says, well, okay, you don't want to be around me. So let's get you to have sex with somebody who has this other parasite, uriplasma. Uriplasma affects the baby in a way where the baby never totally fully develops emotionally, spiritually. Why? Because it stunts the growth of the child. But there's these new children called crystal children who are not affected by it. 1987, go look up Supernova 1987A. That's the same year that they began to break the code, the DNA code. 1987, this green light from Supernova, look it up. Roger, you may want to show that on screen, Supernova 1987A, because the minute you see it, it changes your DNA. Supernova 1987A.
Let me pull it up.
Please go check that out. Supernova 1987A. It looks like an hourglass with a green light in the middle of it, a green eyeball.
Oh, yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, I'm going to put it right here. See if
Supernova 1987A.
There you go. Y'all can see that right there. They can see it on the screen.
Light from Supernova 1987A hit the planet in 1987, all the children born after 1987 took a quantum leap, and they're now called the crystal children. They are immune to a whole lot of things that we were affected by. They're changed. A whole lot of them are what you call autistic, but actually they're living on a whole different spectrum and in a different environment, in a different dimension than you. But they don't talk to us because you ain't saying nothing. They're talking. They're all geniuses. All of them are geniuses. They can see and feel and know things that you don't know, but they don't act like the rest of y'all. You figure something's wrong with them. They need to be fixed because they're not following and walking and talking like the rest of y'all. They say they're on a spectrum. Yeah, they're on a spectrum. They're on a whole nother spectrum. But we're worried because we feel like they're not doing right. They're not doing what we need them. They're not acting the same. Now, some of them are extreme, and they do need a lot of care. We're not saying that that this is not an issue or a challenge in some families. So my heart goes out to parents and people who have children who are so far different that it's hard to take care of them. They can't even take care of themselves. But then there's ones in the middle who are extremely creative. They're tapped into some whole other stuff. They're being born right now. And some of them, they're not connected or affected by toxoplasma or uriplasma, but the parents are. It's the older people. It's people before that time that are affected by this. It's in the cows. It's in the chickens. It's in the pigs. It's in most of the food. Even your vegetarian, your vegan people, they don't think they have it. You tripping. You are tripping. You on a huge ego trip because you think that you's a conscious vegan eater, that you're not living in this environment because you got some kind of what they call it, hermetically sealed body, a dome around your body.
All right, you vegans, y'all hear it.
It's everybody is being affected by this. So what we're saying is right now is the right time to cleanse, detoxify, and set your goals based on what you would like to achieve. Set your telos. Because this is the time when the sun and the earth and Sirius are in alignment. And it's going to go straight down through what they call the Sirius wave or the Sirius channel. You see what I'm saying? Right now, this is happening straight on into August. This alignment or the wave of this alignment. The alignment actually happens between the 3rd and the 9th of July, which is why the Independence Day for a whole lot of major companies is between that time. I mean, come on, man. They said Washington fought the war. He was on the Potomac River.
Right.
And they finally won the war. And a lot of the people were in the water frozen. It was winter. Well, how did Independence Day get on July 4th? That's because Independence Day is based on sacred geometry with Washington, D.C., which is a sacred geometrical whole place. And right on between the 3rd and the 9th of July, Sirius sits right on the top of the Washington Monument. And it casts a shadow down on what they call the mall, which is the boxed-in woman, the water, the yin element in Washington, D.C. That is a spell state that they've created. This is all based on geometry to keep people under a spell. The big white penis, the Washington Monument, is putting down a spell on the black woman or the black waters or the dark waters or the creative waters, the primordial waters of blackness, of darkness, of, dark matter, dark space, liquidic space. It's a whole spell. All I'm saying right now is that you need to get to this point where you start speaking words and speaking life words. We're going to be having a class about this coming up next Saturday. Make sure you go to elevationtime.com so you can get on the email list so you can know about the classes. Also, cleansing. This is the time to get the elevated total body program if you would like to break the spell, to become liberated, because it's just not a thing that you can do with just changing the way you're acting. You've got to change yourself from the rooter to the tutor. Deep down in your cell. So an intracellular cleanse, this will be the time. And if you look at Roderick, you can see that he has changed over the last year. That's a different man we're looking at right there because he did the elevated total body program. It changes you from the root. He's even softer and gentler. He used to fight with me on the show. We'd be back and forth and be like a tug of war. Is it a tug of war or a tug of, what is it?
Tug of war. But
tug of war. A tug of war.
It's all cool. It's all cool.
But I just want to thank you, brother, for the change that you're making and what you're doing to the world as far as bringing this information, even about the black alien experience, black people or black and brown and people who are having an experience that hasn't been, talked about. So I want to thank you for that. And Billy Carson, I'd like to thank Billy and Elizabeth for what they're doing. Brother Rich over at Black Magic 363.
Yep.
Kyle Nelson for the Kyle Nelson Show. If y'all ain't checked it out, please go check out the Kyle Nelson Show. And all the people who are here on the planet right now, and those of you who in the audience are here to break the spell. It starts with your language. It starts with your speaking. It starts with what you're mantraing, what you're emoting, what you're uttering. Uttering, that's like milk.
Yep.
We have the power to do this, and we are changing, and we're changing everything. And those of you who are coming to the awards, it's going to be deep. We have a couple surprises that we won't even talk about that's happening at the awards. That will be an experience that will change your life forever.
Make sure y'all show up. I'll be there. Doc is going to be there. We're going to be there. You get your tickets. And like you heard Billy earlier, and if you just came in, you didn't go all the way back to the 30-minute mark or 27-minute, 25-minute mark. Billy popped on with us and talked about a special BOGO, which is buy one, get one, and where you can get to the Consciousness War for that Sunday, but you will get a free ticket to the conference on Saturday. So make sure y'all do that. Also, real quickly, I have, if anybody in the chat lives in Miami that know how to vlog, like with a camera, I want y'all to put it in the chat, but I'm going to put my email, my moderators, make sure y'all put my email address in the chat right now. I'm looking for someone who can hold a camera, and whether you got your own little camera to film while I'm around meeting and greeting people, when I do the book signing, all that, I'll get you into the conference or whatever. But if you can show you live in Miami, because I'm not paying for a hotel, we'll work something out maybe or whatever. But the whole point, you may even have your own videographer for business or something. But if you're there, you want to be part of it. You got your own stuff, audio. We want to make sure we get some crisp audio and some stuff there. Reach out to me. We'll be posting it on social media pretty soon as well too. But if you are there, you live in the Miami area, or you coming, but if you live in Miami where you can come every day, and don't have to have that hotel fee and all that stuff, I definitely want to hear from you or hear from someone So what do you say, Doc?
I think that's great. And also over at Elevation, we're looking for a graphic artist. Anybody who is a graphic artist who is good with Photoshop and Canva and Procreate. We're looking for a graphic artist who can listen to instruction, give us what we desire, and also learn the environment of Elevation. We have a certain look, a certain vibe that we're attempting to catch. So we're looking for somebody that is really good, who can help us take our graphics to the next level. So at elevationtime.com, you can go there and you can put in a message and say that you're a graphic artist and we're looking for somebody that's open to. A lot of folks, sometimes they're just not open and they're stuck in their ways and their look and everything.
My God, yeah.
And that's okay. But we're looking for somebody who is really open, who also is a part of the holistic community. So they live a certain way, talk a certain way, and we can create something natural. We're not just looking for the whole artificial intelligence look. We know that's cool. It's okay if you're using that, but we're looking for something that is more down to earth, more grounded. So you go to elevationtime.com and you can put a message in there and send us a message and say you're a graphic artist and we're looking for somebody really who is just going to get into the culture of Elevation, which is different than anything out there. So go check out our website, and we're looking to take our stuff to the next level and looking for somebody who would like to travel with us and expand. So elevationtime.com.
Elevationtime.com.
And that's where the cleanse is. If you'd like to try the elevated total body cleanse, which is the one that helps with toxoplasma and superbugs, which are all weapons of war. A lot of these bugs and things on the planet were created as bio warfare. A lot of them were things that were dropped on societies or groups of people during warfare to try to take them out. And then it got in the water table, it got in the clouds and traveled the world. So a lot of this is man-made bioweapons that we're calling parasites. Your average parasite cleanse does not deal with them. You see, we're talking about some really deep stuff that happened on the planet that is now coming back to bite us. But we have the power to help your body recreate itself, because there are cells that create new cells. There's genes that create new cells or heal other broken cells. So we're working on that now at elevationtime.com. We also have clothing, organic clothing, we t-shirts and things that are made of 100% organic cotton. Because if you're wearing anything that is not organic cotton or what's the other ones? Linen, wool. Those other fabrics that are man-made, polyester and all that, is causing you to be under a deep spell. Your clothing is creating a spell and a vibration that's taking you out. Microfibers, not microfibers, but microplastics, the toxins and the chemicals that are in your clothes, next to your skin. Whatever's on your skin is in your blood in 17 seconds. Whatever you put on your skin is in your blood in 17 seconds. So a lot of these things that people are doing, from even if you got hair that's made out of these chemicals, it'd be a good time to look at yourself and get down to the raw, natural you and get down to the real you. Otherwise, we're at a place where people are in self-destruction. We're being, taken over by beings outside of us, but we're allowing it to happen. So no more allowing yourself to go down. Let's go up and let's do it together. Let's do it in one. And a shout out to Rod Hayes out there. Brother Rod Hayes is on some deep stuff. There's a lot of people right now who are out there in the community who are really saying some wonderful things and helping us wake up on all levels. But there also is other frequencies at the same time that is attempting to take us in a different direction. You have to choose. This is the time of choosing. This is the time of you choosing. Stop blaming and let go, and stop looking for other people to like what you like and to follow you. And you're trying to force your family to be down with this, and your mate. You may have to leave and walk this line alone. I've been working with Ian Van Zant lately, and she's been talking a lot about this. So we have a series also. Dr. Ian Van Zant and I have teamed up on some things, but we're saying that this is the time to choose and stop looking to be validated by others. Stop looking for likes. Stop looking for likes. That is a problem where you're looking to be liked, so you'll do anything to be liked. Stop begging for attention and stop trying to create what you think love should be and put that on other people. What's love got to do with you? What is your love? What do you love? Who are you? So I would like to thank you, Brother Roderick, for what you bring to the planet at this particular time. You're a powerful being and you're a powerful voice. And man, much love to you and your family and everything you've been through. Because I was reading some of your book the other night, and I realized, man, this brother's been through some stuff, but we all have.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And this is what made him who he is.
We need that review, so they're already working. I can't
review it. I only got a few minutes. You told me to come on the show, so I can't review it tonight.
Okay, you're right. I'm
working on it, but take your time.
But go ahead.
Is it coming out tomorrow?
Billy and them as the public, they're going to have my book at the Conscious Award. We're going to be signing, so they're working on the back cover. Where it's like a space says for you, Doc B. It says Doc. It's like it'll say void if you're not there, but they're gonna still hold the space. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna hold the space. Yeah, I
feel you. So yeah, I'm working on that. But there's when I started listening to your story, I heard my story, and what the most successful people in the story, they in life, they have a deep story. They've been through a lot. It takes a lot for that diamond to be a diamond. It goes from coal and it's oil and broken down plant matter, and it's got to go through heat and pressure and alchemy. So let's stop complaining about what we've been through and stop. We celebrate trauma nowadays, and we have trauma bonds and trauma parties, and two people meet, and if they both got trauma, then they become best friends. If I and I got something agreeable to say, and I start breaking that spell, they may not hang out with me. I don't like
and they use that as their connection, right? And it's like, really?
That's toxoplasma and uriplasma having sex because it loves those off frequencies. It loves you to be downtrodden. It loves the disagreeable talk and the victim talk. That's toxoplasma and uriplasma working together to create a situation where you're having sex and making love out or turning love into hell. It's deep. Thank you very much, brother.
All right, y'all. That's my guy. Y'all see, what I'm saying? This is the family circle that I'm blessed with, and you're blessed with, to be part and access the knowledge. And like I said, go to the website. Yes, the total body cleanse. I'm telling you, I use it all, very down to the very thing you wipe on your teeth. I mean, they cover it all. And and he talked about it earlier about what's going into these bottles. Everything was individually wrapped as though it had its own essence, its own, and the tree of life is on every bottle. It's like it has its own energy code. It was just divine. Man, I appreciate you. Can't wait to see you in a few weeks, and we're going to hang out.
Beautiful. So elevationtime.com, y'all. And you can also go over to Doctah B, Doctah, not Doctor, Doctah B. That's DOCTAH, and then the letter B, Sirius, SIRIUS, over at IG, and also on Facebook. And yes, as we all support each other, we're building a very powerful spaceship. The mothership is being born. We together are the mothership.
Yes,
Thank
we
you
are.
Very much, Brother Roderick. Much love to you.
I appreciate it, brother. All right, so y'all have it right there. That's Doc B. We bring you stuff here. We're live, tonight. Sometimes we stream, and one of the things I'll put out real quickly before you all go is that this is no joke when you think about all of this stuff, and I said it all the time, and I'm gonna just show you guys real quick. this is what I call, and I'll put it on the screen. It's called the Book of Sacred Secrets. In here, we talk about all that stuff that you hear, things that you can learn from. You can be able to learn all of this stuff. I'm just flipping through because I think people need to understand. Go to Doc B, get his stuff, come back and get you some knowledge. And I got some stuff here. It's all in color. Now, this is downloadables, and you can print it up yourself and put all this together. But you heard it tonight. We cover a lot of these things that you will be able to do, and you can go to my website and do it. I even have what I call the Book of Hidden Truth. This is from my tagline. You may not believe it. It's our trademark. This goes into the more secret stuff, information from the Bible, things that we all was just talking about. These are things that we could do. And then you're talking about the vibrationals. And these are things that you will find. And I'll put up the thing here. You go to the website tonight, whythebigsecret.com/merch. But then, like you said, get the cleanse. You got to get the freaking cleanse. It worked for me. I'm not telling you this because that's my friend. But obviously, not only he believed in his product, he sent it to me, not because I was like, all right. No, he knew there was a friend in need. And when you got people like that, he could have said, hey, man, I'll give you a discount or whatever. And I would have went with it anyway because it's him. But just to get the call out of the blue, I'm putting something in the mail for you. And it comes in the mail. And he didn't send a few things. He sent everything. And I used everything. And if you see me from last year, the suit that I wore to the Conscious Award, I put it on 2 days ago, and it's about 9 or 12 inches, just like this. And I'm just telling you, I feel great. And the whole point is the mental clarity that came from getting those parasites out of my mind and everything else. Also, Warrior X, I saw you was talking about a producer, writer. If that's something you do, contact at Why the Big Secret is my email address. We're starting our own production company at the first of the year, and we're changing some of the content. So I am going to be looking. I have a couple of producers and things so if that's something that you skilled at, go ahead and send an email, contact at whythebigsecret.com. Now, y'all heard Doc B asking for requests for graphics. People, this is serious business. This is a business. And so if you know it's something you can do, a commitment that you can make, traveling and all of that stuff, do it. Don't just contact because you just want, oh, by the way, I can do a picture, but you're not really a graphic designer. He's specifically asking for help, just like I do. And you want people specifically to reach out with those skill set, because this is not a joke. This is our lives. And yeah, you can put two images together, but he's looking for somebody with imagination, creativity, and also with the wherewithal that you're not afraid to, hey, take a look at this, Doc. What do you think? And that's the type of person he is, and that's what you want. So once again, I appreciate it. It's been a plum, pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege being here tonight, serving you as a servant leader. That is something that I have just really work on, when it comes down to this and my shows and being on TV shows. You can find me on Amazon. You can find me on Apple TV, Forbidden Knowledge TV, History Channel, Gaia, all of these places. I've been in 11 TV shows over the last year or two, and got even more to come. My book and all that, and Billy's the publisher. And, it's just being in the right place at the right time, but also around the right people. And like I said before, if you got that camera and you want to be able to come out, I'll put you around the right people. Maybe it's your business, but you come to help us, I help you. And so maybe someone as well. I have much love. And as I said before, your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. And to my haters, once again, if you can hate me, you don't even know me, I can still love you. I don't want to meet you, but I can still love you. But if you come here hating a few times, I just want you to know you're really a fan. You're just critical. That's okay. You're a fan. But either way, you guys take much care of yourself. Go hug someone, love someone. Make sure you do that, because it's changing. It's changing before our eyes. And then if you haven't met the person, go find that person that you're going to connect with. And you're going to connect with, not out of trauma that you heard Doc says. You're going to connect with this person out of love. And through love, you're going to conquer a lot of things, and you're going to really enjoy life. And so hope to see y'all on the other side of things. And we're going to have a great time. and make sure the link is in the description. Make sure you vote for Doc B and myself. Go vote tonight, and then make sure you go to the website and get the information that you need. It's in the thing there as well. So we will do that across the deal. All right. So let me get us out of here. I'm just going to take us out, and we will see you guys next time.
Why did Ruby shoot Oswald? Was there a conspiracy?
In a world shrouded in darkness and obscured by deception from the big secret keepers, a burning question ignites in the hearts and minds of truth seekers. Why? Let's dive into the abyss of the unknown. Challenge the limits of our understanding.
This bizarre sequence of double killings raised great questions. Who actually fired the shot that killed Kennedy?
Pierce the veil of secrecy.
Cattle found dead and the manner of their deaths are a real mystery.
Anyone who is concerned about lead in the drinking water in Flint.
And venture into the realm of conspiracies and extraterrestrial evidence.
A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
Let us consider the question.